Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, enemies and friends, welcome to the show that never ends. You are tuned into On the Real, where we keep you up to date in the latest in the world of TV and movies. And joining me today is a very, very, very special guest, Lord King David. How you doing, good sir? And I see you rocking the belt.
Oh man,
Tag team champions of the world over
that's
here.
Right. My brother brought his belt out, so I can't have him run out on stage without his tag team partner. No way in hell.
The mega powers.
That's right, the Road Warriors. Oh
Right.
my God. Yo, you have no idea. It gives me goosebumps. It really, literally gives me goosebumps to see a fellow collector. You understand? Like, it's just not minor. You know, it's things that capture your imagination as a youth, and you never let it go. And when you got to that age that you could purchase that belt that you saw those wrestlers with, you said, "Well, come hell or high water, that belt to be around my damn
that's
waist."
the WWF, boy, not that WWE bullshit. This is shit that Ultimate Warrior and Hulk Hogan and them had.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. See, and I went with the WCW because I was going for my man. Yes, that's right.
Four Horsemen.
Yeah, you know where I was at with it. But I'm so happy to be here with you guys to talk shop. Me and everyone did something very special last week. We're gonna jump into that, but you know, all this movie stuff is popping all over the place, and I think we're getting back to trying to get that old feel back. Like, you know, people are trying to get back to movie theaters. It still feels a little bit weird, a little bit stale, but at the same time, the movie industry is trying to force us forward with these hits, these bangers, these movies that we've been anticipating. So let's talk.
Hey, you know what? On that point, I was on that train where I'm never going back to the movies because we got the 45-day window.
Yes,
I bought my nacho machine, everything. We got the popcorn ready to go.
Sir.
I got my Dolby Vision and Atmos, all and LG CX 65 inch. We was good. And then I saw Shang-Chi in the theater. I was like, man, it ain't the same. We got to get back out there. And then I saw that Matrix trailer today. And there is no chance I'm watching that in the house for the first time. Now,
well, you might be the only one according to the group chat.
Be clear. The first time I see that is going to be in IMAX, and the next 99 times that I watch it, it will be on HBO Max.
See,
but
I gotta say
I'm getting that feeling back again.
I gotta say this. That 88-inch television I got upstairs is telling me a different story because I don't want nobody talking. I don't want no words.
You don't want no. Watch this part. This is the good part right here.
Boy, you have no idea. Like, really. So I don't think I'll be able to hold my composure come 12 o'clock midnight when that thing drops. So I'm sorry.
It is. You know what it is though? It's only for certain movies that we will do that. But certain things we're not gonna wait. Like Dune. That's HBO Max.
That's extra HBO Max, bro.
Of course.
No disrespect to Zune.
If I watch it at all.
To Dune, I call it Zune, which is, I don't know if that was a Freudian slip.
Yeah.
But Matrix Resurrection. Anyway, let me finish the introduction. And we can come to that. All right. The other WWF, the man with the greatest toy collection or action figure collection. What do you call it?
Action figures.
The action figure articulated. Yes.
Yeah. That's
the man with the greatest
calling this stuff
action.
toys.
The man with the greatest action figure collection this side of the East Coast. The man with the belt. Mr. LeVar Johnson. What's happening? AKA Exodus.
I'm just trying to be like King one day and graduate to statues, you know, the big boy stuff.
Boy. tell it to me after I have to box all these babies up.
He just turned into Kratos on you.
He just dropped Kratos on you real quick.
Just boxing these babies up. Say, I wish I was boxing up action figures.
Oh man,
you know what? That's a lie too, because obviously you probably got more action figures than I got statues. I got
500 plus, bro.
There you go. So no, I'd rather box up my statues. Thank you.
Hey, shout out to Nick in the chat. He says salute to everybody. Salute to you, Nick. Blessings. And yes, The Matrix is day and date on HBO Max, but it might as well not be because I'm seeing that one in the IMAX.
As soon as it drop, I'm watching it, bro.
All right, I'll catch
if I
it.
Go to the theater and see it, I will
but
watch
guess
it
what?
in the
You're gonna have to wait till Friday. I'm getting that Thursday 7:00 show. But anyway, Mr. K Asante,
I'll be right with you.
Mr. K Asante, how are you doing today, good sir?
Oh man, I'm doing great, man. You know, it is Christmas for us, man. We're doing. We have Matrix to talk about. We have What If to talk about. We have Shang-Chi to talk about. LeVar's in the spot. You here? The King is in the spot. Let's do this. This is. I've been looking forward to this all week. Let's do this.
All right.
And I'm not jealous at all. By the way, I'm not jealous at all of what y'all did with y'all special screenings. Nah, not at all. It's fine.
You should be. You should be.
Do
I look like I'm not?
You should be.
I don't feel bad for you. You over there next to the beaches and all those things.
Stop it. Keep it moving.
But anyway, all right, let's get this thing going. Let's start it out as we do every week. Start out with what we're watching. Now, there's two things on my list. And the first one, I want to put everybody onto this show. It is a Netflix show. It is from it's a French show, but it's very good. It's dubbed in English if you want to watch it, and the dub is very good. It is called Into the Night. Now, season 1 is only 6 episodes, and season 2 drops tomorrow. Now, the premise of this story is that there is something going on with the sun, and anything that the sun touches, any human life, will be killed if the daylight touches you. So someone hijacks a plane and they have to continue to fly west. And so they fly and then they land in the darkness to refuel at the airports, and they keep in the air to where they can try to figure it out. So that's the premise of the show. Yeah. Very, very good. Only 6 episodes, and the episodes are between 30 and 45 minutes, depending on the thing. So you can watch it in one sitting, and season 2 drops. So I don't want to spoil it for anybody because you guys haven't seen it yet. But there's the cup. The cup makes a return. But everybody on Netflix, check out Into the Night. Great, great show. Now, the other thing that I wanted to talk about. There's a show on Netflix called Clickbait. And it stars, I don't know if you guys remember Entourage. But you remember Vinny Chase from Entourage.
Oh yeah.
All right. So
he's getting acting work again?
Yeah, which is great.
It took a while, right?
Right. So
he was on hiatus.
So it is starring him, and the premise of that show also very good. I think it's 8 episodes. It's a limited series, so there is no season 2. So it's based on a book, I think. He is a model family man, and he has a wife. He has 2 kids, and he's very close with his mother and his sister. And they see a video that he is kidnapped, and someone posts a video saying that at 5 million views, I'm going to die. That's him. He's holding a sign. At 5 million views, they're going to kill me. Wow. And so basically the family and the police are trying to figure out who put this video together and where he is. And it's kind of a mystery. And there's all kinds of
we should have a spoiler cast one of these days, but now.
Well, if you guys are going to watch it, right?
I've seen the whole thing. I watched the whole thing. I've seen the whole thing. I think it's interesting enough. I think the story is interesting enough that maybe we should leave it as a recommend for now, and let's get back to it when your brother and maybe King have had a chance to watch it, and we can really discuss it. It's one of those things that requires discussion.
We're going to talk about this next week.
Yeah, because I've seen the whole thing.
Put it in the chat, and I'll definitely watch it. Because my wife and I are definitely avid movie watchers, so I got some stuff that I want to kick with y'all in a second too.
Okay, cool. So this show, I promise you will not see who's coming and who did what. I don't care what you thought about. This is some next level twist. It is a mystery, so it's not like a spoiler that there's a twist. It's crazy, and it keeps you on the edge of your seat. And as soon as you start questioning somebody else, they give you more red meat to go in a different direction. So if you like murder mysteries and things like that, and this is not really a murder mystery, but if you like those kind of things, this is the one for you. Great show. I give it a 9 out of 10. Highly recommend clickbait, and I will tell you why I highly recommend it, but I can't without spoiling it. So we will talk about next week that they bucked a trend that I'm seeing a lot lately in Hollywood, and I appreciate that. Okay, Mr. King. Oh, well, sorry, Kay Asante. What do you watch?
Oh yeah, I'll get through it quickly. I too have been watching. I have watched all of Clickbait. I won't even go any further. Everything you just said, 100%, just like that. And I agree. We should have a spoiler cast because it's worth the conversation. It's really good. That's the TV show I've been watching. All the TV show I watched. I'm up to date on season 3 of Titans. I know you are too, LeVar, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
So at some point, do you want to have a conversation about that, or what? Like, I like it. I like where it's going. I like it because I watched season 1 and I knew what kind of thing they were doing. You know, they're going for that stereotypical gritty aspects of it, and it's still heading in that direction. I think you probably think it's trash. What do you think?
I think it's mid at best.
It is better than CW, but
yes, it's
but
better
that's
than
where
CW
it's going.
shows, but it's not.
It's not a
Boys
movie.
Good. It's not.
Yeah. Okay.
Even
okay.
What you call it?
Well,
Invincible
but the
good.
reason why it wouldn't be The Boys Good is because the boys are just the boys. These guys are characters you can see in the movies, so they'll never be able to conform to the real big budget.
They're
stuff.
trying to go for like a rated R type of thing, a soft R.
100%. They are.
So and they do violence and blood and people getting killed, and even from the DC animated movies, they really go for it. They're like. Almost like, especially that last one, with whatever was called Apocalypse War or whatever it was called, like that was like Invincible level like brutality, but they don't go for it in the show. The show still has a level of cheese to it.
They still dumb it down a little bit,
but it's still cheesy. Where it's 100%. Like, okay, this is kind of corny, but it kept me intrigued enough to watch it.
It's interesting. Yeah, it's interesting. So I would suggest. So one last question from. Does this make you want to catch up on 2 and 1?
Not at all.
Okay.
Because you want to know why? Because I know that the first 2 seasons will be even more cheesy because they were on the CW.
No, this was never on CW.
Never on CW, or just on the app?
No, it was never. It's never been associated with CW at all. It used to be on. It used to be on the DC special. Yeah. Yes, it was on the DC. The DC subscription service.
I had DC Universe, but I never watched it on.
Yes,
DC
Universe. It was on DC Universe. Then it switched to HBO.
Yeah. Well, once HBO made the deal with them, the DC app folded.
That's when it.
The only good shit on that the DC Universe was the Harley Quinn cartoon.
So
Titans was definitely
Titans is good.
You also watched it?
Huh?
The Titans show or what?
The Titans show.
It's okay.
You guys.
I just watched season 3. It's okay.
Okay, well, you got to keep going. This is what I would recommend. Keep going. But if you read the comic books, and I'm pretty sure that you did, and you see the back history of it, I like how they grounded it in now. I like how they told the stories about it now. Yeah. They feel earthy. They feel like they have gravitas.
So true.
Each character
so true.
Goes deep into the lore. A lot of ways that they told the characters, they kind of stayed true to who the characters were, but they also gave you a little bit of a modern day twist to it to understand certain aspects of it. So I think having a little bit of history of the Teen Titans helped me along with some of the characters. And when they did introduce characters like Joshua, I understood what was going to happen. I understood where he was, and I understood who he was, who his father was. And then I knew why the hate was there and what was going to transpire. So, Hawk and Dove was one of my favorite books as a kid.
Yeah.
So to see them in live action.
What do you think of their rendition in live action?
It's ridiculous. No,
it was great.
It was great because you got the suits.
Their suits look stupid.
See, that's the thing. You've only seen season 3. Watch season 1 and 2. By the time you get to season 3, you'll be committed.
He was like, it's supposed to be stupid.
Yes. If you watch season 1 and season 2, by the time you see season 3, you'll be committed. They are very well done. Dove and Hawk, very well done. Yeah,
and the fact that he was struggling with drugs, I like the whole drug thing. But see, and
Jason Todd, I feel like he's too young.
No, but that's perfect though. Jason Todd is perfect because he's impulsive.
It don't make him menacing as Red Hood to me.
You said
yeah.
because I know
the menacing Red Hood part. I hear you on that because when he turns to Red Hood, I feel like they lose something because as Jason Todd, he's this boy band, right? And then he puts on the mask and he becomes Red Hood. The Red Hood character by itself, well done. But the minute you kind of thread the needle of it's Jason Todd, it loses something because he's like this boy band, this Bieber character, you know.
Well, and when but
you're absolutely right.
Older.
He's supposed to be this old.
Yeah, I feel what you're saying. But when we didn't know who Red Hood was in the books, and it went on for a while, right?
That's right.
They did this all in one season. Yeah. So you learning
this all in like 2 episodes, which is unfortunate. You know,
you're learning that in the season, opposed to learning through multiple years and trying to figure out who the Red Hood is,
could it be,
and what the hell is going on here, and how is he breaking code, and how is he doing this to Batman and stuff like that. So it's largely lost there because I think they forced the Red Hood into the situation.
Then had a different actor that was a little older.
It was too quick
young for him to be menacing to me.
I agree. Although, with all that said, what they're trying to do, they're hitting more than they're missing. I think they're doing a pretty good job. You're absolutely right that the budget is limited.
Yeah,
you know, it's a limited budget. But King was right.
Is it limited on HBO?
Well, it started that way. HBO just is kind of the shepherd at this point. All this is already baked into the cake. Like they were doing this already.
I just want to jump in here for a second.
Please go ahead.
We're doing all of this. Titan.
Oh yeah, no.
This
I'm trying to move on.
And we couldn't do no clickbait. We couldn't do no clickbait spoilers, but we doing all the Titan spoilers in the world.
You're not gonna watch Titans. We noticed. That's why we're moving on. If you were, we would be more than happy to do a spoiler talk with you about it. But you're not gonna watch it.
Law of averages, Steve.
I only have 2 words. Fuck Batman. All right.
Whoa. Let me finish up real quick. We will talk. We will talk. Another final thing I wanted to say. Two final things. What do you call it? Mortal Kombat Legends Battle of the Realms.
I watched that today too.
Beautiful.
I watched that.
Oh, that was great.
And we'll move on.
Mortal Kombat
and the movie, The Protege. I spoke to you, Everborn, about it.
I didn't get to watch it. I'm gonna watch it tomorrow night.
I recommend that Mortal Kombat movie.
We'll talk about that. The Protege. If you are any kind of Sam Jackson fan, this is like
that's the one with
best
the
B-movie Sam Jackson
with the assassin that he trains.
That's right, Maggie Q.
It looks like The Long Kiss Goodnight.
Yes,
it is. It's 2.0 Long Kiss Goodnight. Except the difference is
it a movie theater?
No, not anymore. You can get it. You can rent it at this point.
Okay, cool.
That's how I watched it. Only Sam Jackson is in it far longer than I think he should be, or that it was initially billed to be. But it's really good. Like it's fun. It's you know. It's ridiculous. Oh, the man hustles in the spot.
Hustle and motivate. Peace, God.
What's going on, man? What's happening?
I heard all his takes today.
And we got OGTK Cole.
Indeed. The OG's in the spot as well.
All right.
So, yes, watch that. So, The Protege, recommended. People watch it. It's a great Sam Jackson flick. Mortal Kombat. We could talk about that later there, sir.
Into the night.
Go ahead.
Everybody watch it.
Nobody saw. I know y'all didn't see this.
What's that?
Netflix, Blood Red Sky.
Saw it. Yes,
okay.
sir.
All right.
Okay.
So let me give you the synopsis.
Y'all spoil it a little bit. Go ahead.
When a group of terrorists hijack over transatlantic flight, a mysteriously ill woman unleashed a monstrous secret to protect her young son. It's an endearing movie for what a woman's love for her kid would be.
Especially when her kid is a dumbass. I hate that.
The kid tells you how stupid he is in the beginning of the film when he's talking to a stranger. We don't train our children in that manner to talk to strangers and especially give them pertinent information about your illnesses. But again, he does this and it pertains mostly to the story later on. But the story was really good. It intrigued me and I saw it on Netflix. It's something to take a watch and get a good look at. The next movie we saw, which was out of control to me, and I really loved it. It's called Monsters of Men, and it's on Amazon Prime. All right. A robotics company teams up with a corrupt CIA agent undergoing an illegal, unsanctioned military operation, dropping off 4 prototype robots into a suspected area. Now, that movie is probably one of the most top-notch B films I've ever seen in my life. It is if they wanted to, if they was actually funded properly, it could have been the genesis of what happens in Terminator, right? Because these robots are insane. One robot becomes sentient. When that robot becomes sentient, it is a danger to everything and everything around it. It gets a cell phone and it uploads itself to the internet and programs itself to do things that's outside its parameters. The acting is B film acting, but I'm talking about top tier B film acting, right? Not something to break immersion. The jungles, it doesn't break immersion. The biggest thing was the CGI with the robots made it so believable that you can look in at this day and age and look at the explosions, the robots and everything. And I'm talking about high tier B level film.
King, can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
What's the name of it
At
again?
any point, hold on a minute. At any point in the movie, does one of the robots say no, disassemble?
No.
Johnny,
what's wrong with you?
No, disassemble.
No, listen. One of the robots KO is at a point in time when one of the robots talks, but it learns it because they have speech modulators. But these are military robots that are trained to kill. Absolute kill.
What's the name of that robot movie that came out a few? No, I'm not talking about the kid robot movie.
No, you're talking about Chappie.
There we go.
From Neil Blomkamp.
One to scale with Chappie.
That Chappie movie
graphically.
Okay. Yo.
CG wise.
Chappie was a brick.
Yeah, listen when I'm telling you this. Imagine Chappie times 4. They got 4 of these robots, and they even have a chance when you're going to see these robots on film battling each other. You're going to be so amazed by the CGI in this that you're going to say, this can't be a B-level film, but it is, because you're going to see certain actors that
Monsters
actually going to show you. Yes.
I'm going to check it out. 100%. Let's do it. Yes. All right, cool.
All right.
It blew me away.
What? That was the 2 you got?
You said Amazon, right?
Those are the 2 I watched. Everything else is little minor stuff. I'm on my world tour, so I'm actually looking at people going abroad and seeing different places because it's going to be in a very soon future, after all the stuff gets established. The wife and I is going to be going all over the place,
especially Egypt.
Oh, that is my first stop. That is my first stop to present my wife in front of the Lord. So that's my first stop.
Yeah, I might be going back to Paris soon, but that's a conversation for a different day. Okay, so if nobody, LeVar, do you have anything before we move on? So it's
we spoke about it already.
All right, cool. All right, so the homework for everybody in the audience, we're going to watch Blood Red Sky. That is a movie. We're going to watch Monsters of Men. That is on Amazon. Blood Red Sky is Netflix. We are going to watch Clickbait because we're going to do a spoiler cast on Clickbait next week. And do yourself a favor and watch Into the Night. Very good sci-fi show.
Highly watch Titans.
Nah.
Exactly.
Nah, I'm
watch the damn Prestige. Watch it. The Protege. Right. I'm sorry.
The Protege. Yes, I'm gonna watch the Protege tomorrow. Okay.
Prestige is other.
All right. Yes. So now let us move.
Let the games begin.
All right. Do we want to start with the Matrix? Let's get What If out of the way, because What If episode 5, the weakest in the series so far.
You think?
Marvel Zombie. Absolutely. You point to me an episode that this was better than so far.
Oh no, I'm not agreeing or disagreeing. I'm just saying.
I wouldn't say it was the worst.
It was the worst. Hold on. Okay, King, you said you got a couple.
Go ahead. King, you first.
I think it's better than the T'Challa one. I know by popular demand, people is going to be upset with me. I think they did fan service to him. I think he was better served off in this episode where he actually wasn't bloviated and all this extra stuff. To be honest with you, that's just my opinion of it. It's nice that they did that.
It was a nice surprise cameo. Even though it's not a surprise because they show you everybody's who's going to be in it. But I skipped the credits in the beginning always.
Oh, I don't
So,
do that. I just watch.
I don't read none of that. I was just like, oh, it's the same shit again. Who cares?
Yeah,
I'm not reading no names.
So again, we're in a trying to tell something that spanned over years and multiple books and deep graphic novels
into a half an hour,
shrinking into a half hour,
not a half an hour, 23 minutes.
23 minutes.
All right, 23 minutes, and then the rest 7 minutes is freaking credits. I hate what they're doing with that. Give me my real 30 minutes, and then you can do 30 and 7 minutes of credits afterwards. Don't shortchange me, but Marvel's been doing this, Disney's been doing this. The episode played itself out with the cast that they have, and I've noticed something about Disney and Marvel. If they don't have the characters and at a particular time, because remember, this stuff was done years ago, and they had to get the voice acting and stuff right. Certain characters they didn't have on deck to use, certain voice actors they didn't have, so they couldn't use mainstays like Mr. Fantastic and people like that. So because they weren't introduced to this world, so they're working with what they're introduced to the world already. With the limited cast that they did have, I love that they recast Spider-Man from Tom Holland. So they give Sony no royalties in that, because anytime they use Tom Holland in anything, they have to pay Sony. Cut him out.
The guy did a pretty good Tom Holland impression.
Yeah, he did a pretty good Tom Holland.
Did pretty good. I like the fact that they didn't have a Tom Holland face. I like where they're going with
none of these characters don't. Happy look like Happy.
Yeah. But you know why they're doing this? They're trying to have you disassociate the actor with the character.
Well, they learned their lesson from that Sony debacle they had real quick. Yeah.
Well, they learned their lesson from empowering the actor to take control. The Hugh Jackmans of the world, the people I can't stand. But this episode was pretty decent for what they gave us.
I like it because it was like more original, where I didn't know what was going to happen. It didn't play out like everything else was kind of a version of some shit that already happened. Even though it is with the whole, Thanos thing at the end.
Right.
Spoilers.
But the question is to you.
But it was still way different.
The question is to you. I didn't know where it was going. Did you?
Yeah. The whole time it was going? At no point did I feel like, okay, it's going to play out like a version of this before.
All right. So let me add.
Surprise.
Let me
it was
add
cool what they did with how the zombies still had the powers and the giants. Hope at the end.
Yeah.
So let me add one point.
But when did her wings stop working? Because I was just there like, why is she turned giant and walking through them? Why not just have flown through them? She can't fly when she's giant?
She can't fly when she's carrying everybody. Remember, she was carrying them to safety. And then when she fell down and got bit up as a giant. So she came back as a giant.
Yeah,
but wasn't she already going to turn anyway?
Yeah, because while she still had consciousness, she should have shrunk. But she still has the mentality to be able to shrink. And
Before I forget, I want to. We have been going on for the last 4 weeks now, under the assumption. I don't want to say we're under the assumption, but we had this question for the last 4 weeks: are all of these what if episodes taking place in the same timeline? And this episode definitively answers that no.
No,
of course not.
Not at all. I mean, last week it did with Doctor Strange. That was because that was a different universe. But I feel like at some point the Watcher is going to intersect universes, or some event is going to make certain universes interact with each other, and then they're going to team up and form a new version of the Avengers.
Oh, I see what you're talking about. If these timelines are actually linked to each other, the Watcher tells you stories from Maybrit of timelines. This zombie timeline is actually taken from the Army of the Dead. Army of Darkness, Army of the Darkness, right? Army of Darkness. All right. So with Ash, so that's where its basis comes from. Dark Horse Comics, and they actually did Marvel with Dark Horse, and that's when they was experimenting.
Kirkman actually did a Marvel Zombies story,
and it's really good stuff. So in doing this whole thing here, they just that universe is encapsulated within itself. Like the Doctor Strange universe, that was encapsulated within itself. Those are two one-off universes that would never intersect.
Well, okay.
Real quick, King, I see what you're saying and you're right, but I do think that LeVar has a bit of a point here, though, because although it's true, the origins are the world of basically the Watcher saying this is the decision, the change of decision that was made that created this separate timeline, right?
Right.
And we're just telling you about that timeline, and then we'll tell you about a different timeline. That's fine.
Right.
But the meta view of it shows that the MCU can pick and choose, since they've already showed you that timeline now exists.
Right.
They can find a way of bringing Captain Carter out of her timeline and adding her in real life to a main movie or something else, because because they've opened that box. All those characters now technically exist and can be used as they see fit in order to possibly get rid of exactly. Well, get rid of somebody who has too much money and bring somebody new in because of
This is the Robert Downey Jr. effect. Right. So when you have Iron Man and he's making too much money and you killed him off, but he's such a powerful character, you can go to a timeline when Iron Man does exist and it's not that character, it's not Robert Downey Jr. Boom, you cast him out and you bring this guy in.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think that's the point he was trying to make, and it looks from a business perspective that they're definitely heading in that direction. People love them. They want more of them.
Terrence Howard, and he's going to play Iron Man, man.
I would love that world.
Because here's the thing. Here's the thing. I was under the impression that when Captain Carter hopped into the machine instead of Steve Rogers, that is the thing that somehow reverberated and led to T'Challa getting picked up.
Oh no.
By the aliens, and from there, that is the thing that led to everybody getting assassinated by Hank Pym.
The Watcher himself says it at the beginning. At the beginning, he says this decision made this. That decision made. It's not one led to the other, which led to the other.
Okay, but he's
just saying that these are the.
Here's the problem.
This is where it's wrong in your logic to it, because at the end of that Hank Pym episode, Captain America is found in the ice.
Yep.
Well, the shield.
Well, no, it's Captain America, because she she never went into the ice.
That's true, but she did have the shield when she.
Yeah, but she did. But
the shield's also different.
Carter's shield.
Right. Captain Carter's shield looks different than
it's different.
Jack. Britain flag.
See, if you go back to that show, I was saying that the ice meant that it wasn't the same universe, but then I talked myself out of it. So now,
no, you're right.
Okay. So, but here's the other problem. At the end of the T'Challa episode, right, we saw Peter Quill get, he meets Ego, his pops, right? Like that's going to lead to something. And then at the end of this, we see Thanos. Yes. Like that's going to lead to something.
But that is, no. But see, I think you guys are mistaken in your assertions there. Yes, they will lead to something. What you're seeing, and this is just my interpretation of what the Watcher has been saying. You guys can correct me if you think I'm mistaken, but from what I hear, based on what the monologue is at the beginning of all these shows, this supposedly, now the meta narrative obviously is different, but within the confines of the show, these are all just various versions of a future that may never come to pass. They're showing it to you, but it exists whether you see it or don't. Right. So like at the end when Ego meets his son, that could lead to the end of the world. Their world. We may never see where it ever goes ever again. It doesn't automatically mean we're going to see it in season 2. It's just the Watcher telling you, hey, see this scenario? This is the switch from what you know to the other scenario, and this is where that led. He only showed you X amount of where that led, and of course, Ego met his son at the end of it. They may never show you any further.
But this leads to the whole paradox and relativity, and how people view different things. Like if you picked up the pen, would this change something else that you were going to do for that day? Type of thing. Yeah. The butterfly. Like if you ever go back and watch that movie, this is the same premise of that same thought.
Exactly.
And
just
doing
a lot less Ashton Kutcher.
Yeah, thank God.
Really?
Now I do agree. I do agree with you guys.
Yeah,
I do agree with you, specifically you, Everborn, that being that those characters now are established, being that we, as the audience of the MCU viewers, have now been able to see these characters, Captain Carter and all these, they will come back in some iteration or form because that's why they put them there. But in the confines of the film itself or the show itself, they're literally just It's almost like they're showing you table of context, and there's so many different pages, and they pick one, and they're showing you, see this one, and then they put it back, and then they show you another one from another. It doesn't necessarily matter.
To address,
it doesn't necessarily, combine.
To address Pixel Bit G, I was going to say that, but I didn't want to interrupt anybody. That this is just another extension of the Loki show and the timeline splitting.
All the various splits. That's right.
All of these events happening, even the Spider-Verse, all of these events happening.
King disagrees. But before you disagree, King, I just want to say shout out to Boom, Mr. Boom Sick in the building. What's happening?
Boom, I wish I could make it to you in the morning. I'd be so upset that I can't. I swear.
Even in Endgame, when what do you call it? I mean, Endgame and Doctor Strange, when the one who gave Doctor Strange his powers, when she was telling him, or in Endgame when it was telling him about the timelines, and
Endgame when the HMO was talking to Hulk.
Yeah.
Yes,
that
we talked about all the various timelines. Yeah,
what this is us just canon that that's us getting to see all these different timelines.
Yes.
Okay.
And the whole fact that the timelines is splitting and all of this stuff happening in Loki, all of it can intersect. They're going to come crashing into one another.
All right, King, you were making a point.
Please tell us your disagreement.
All right. Well, the thing is, King the Conqueror always exists, and he's always existed in different timelines. That breakdown was the setup for the live-action universe for people to understand things. They had to give you a reference point to understand things. The Watcher YouTube has always been there, and he's always observed Earths in different. That's why his eyes are like that, and there's a whole story when he dies, but is because what his eyes holds the power. All right, so but he's able to see multiple time streams happening all at the same time, and what he's looking at is the 646 universe, the 616 universe, the one where we are now, right? This is the universe that we're dealing with now, right? But at the same time, what Disney and Marvel has done is they took the 413 and the 616 and they actually merged them. So that's the Ultimate Universe and this universe all into one, right? And that's how they chose to tell it, because it has gravitas. They chose to tell human stories, and that's cool. But these timelines always existed in his eyes. Without the King, without the Loki stuff, he's always been there. Like he said, he's always watched, he's always observed, and he's always watched different timelines. Has nothing to do with the Loki stuff. Now, the Loki stuff is going to bring it in the present, because you're going to see live action what Kang can do. See, when they said, and people are not ready for this, he said, you're going to see multiples of me. Some might be passive, some might be aggressive.
He might show up in What If.
I'm pretty sure he is, because I can't wait for that Ultron episode. I was really, I understand the letdown, Everborn, with this episode, because I expected so much more. Like when they showed the trailer,
so much in 23 minutes, like you said.
Yeah, you can't. But when you saw the trailer of the Winter Soldier and he was fighting Cap on that train, I thought it was going to be a whole lot more epic, because it was more epic in the book.
Well,
right?
I think another thing is, how much is Disney going to let them do on Disney Plus? If this was a Hulu show, I think we would have got a little bit more. But I think this is far as Disney would allow them to take it for that.
Pretty decent though.
Yeah, I mean, it was cool, but from what I've seen of the comics for Marvel Zombies, it was a little bit more edgy.
Yeah, but I like how they hid certain things, like when when Banner was watching them eat them, and it's like, yo, that's a bit obsessive, like what the hell is going on here?
Yeah,
and
it was they hid it. Graphic for Marvel.
Yeah, it was good stuff. When she blew out of their bodies and she had the gook all over.
It's like you got Sharon or whatever her name is, Peggy all over you.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy. It was good stuff, because they're pushing the boundaries but staying inside the limits.
Yeah.
So like was it as bad as now that we're talking about it? Was it as bad as
I wouldn't call it a bad
listen,
episode.
This is like
you could say it was the weakest, but I feel like every episode leaves you wanting more. They should be like 40 minutes.
This is me comparing Jay-Z albums. None of them are bad. but some are better than others.
Some are better than others. Understood. And in the context of what
this was the blueprint too.
I can agree.
Basically.
That is slander, sir. Do not slander the Blueprint 2. I appreciate that album. Stop it. I agree with you though. Of all the episodes we've seen, this seemed to have hit a little weaker than the others have. But that's still at the very top tier. I hated
the T'Challa episode. I mean,
did you?
That was my favorite one.
Let me not say hated. All right, listen. Don't pull on my heartstrings for a character, right? Don't do that. And then don't turn them into the Messiah. Don't do that. And this is what they did. Oh, he was able to bridge the gap between the universe. If we actually took him out there, he would have solved world peace.
If Chadwick didn't die, he was supposed to be the new Cap. He was supposed to be the new leader of the Avengers. They was always setting him up to be. He was
never.
Hold on a minute. I don't know that he was going to be the leader, but he would have been the biggest draw to the Avengers movies. I think. Right.
He's not the Black Panther.
That's not what I'm saying. When I say the biggest draw, I mean, okay, when people go to an Avengers movie now, they're looking at all the characters, but like when Captain America come on screen, it's a standing ovation. Right. When that's what they were building him up to be.
They didn't know he was going to be the top tier, like $1 billion movie until he was, and because of the situation, obviously he didn't get the benefits of it.
So when I say
further movies after it, he would have been the biggest
star.
He's still the Black Panther still could be. They don't need Chadwick Boseman.
No. True. That is true. But obviously, Marvel and all that, they want to do that Chadwick Boseman.
They need to stop that. Listen,
I know they should.
First of all, every white hero gets recast. All right, they didn't put us. God rest his soul, Christopher Reeve. They didn't put the cape inside the coffin with him and wrap it up, and that's it. That the character has absolutely nothing to do.
Point blank, King David, you're absolutely right.
It's only been a year.
See, in my opinion,
if they postponed the movie for like 2 years, then maybe. But when you're doing a movie,
they were probably too late. They were too late to recast, but I agree with you. They should 100% recast.
The moment
T'Challa, the Black Panther is a mantle that needs to be passed to the next.
The moment that he passed, all right, thank you. You
got to give it time.
And thank you. You did great. I appreciate it. You're a fantastic actor. You brought integrity and gravitas to the role, and we're going to pass this on to the next Black actor that can hold your mantle. Hopefully he can do you justice, and that guy steps into that role and do what he's supposed to do. That movie ain't coming out yet. He
wouldn't have gotten have gotten shafted because of what
you don't worry about that, because I don't like Henry Cavill, right? And for a long time before I got to you guys, for a long time I could not watch him because I like Christopher Reeves, and I like the what was the last dude that did Superman Returns?
Brandon Roth.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah,
Brandon Roth. I thought Brandon Roth's got a terrible script. I thought he was a fantastic Superman.
Raw deal.
I thought he looked perfect for. I thought literally he was my Superman
vibe.
Yeah. But
people are saying Tyler Hoechlin, this new dude from the Superman show that I refuse to watch,
not bad. He's not bad.
He's decent.
He's pretty good. He really is.
King, let me just address.
I love that cup,
here.
By the way.
I love
that cup.
But let me address King's point.
Cup. Go ahead.
Let me address King's point real quick. I have made the same stance that he should be recast because I don't want to lose T'Challa. I know anyone can wear the Black Panther mantle, and you don't have to get rid of Black Panther, but I think T'Challa is an important character outside of the suit.
Thank you.
Right? However, I think it would have been an uphill battle right now. Because basically they'd have to build the whole T'Challa up again. And people have this because like you can recast Iron Man, but you can't do it right now. People have built up sort of this affection.
There will be Riri Williams before you see Iron Man again.
You know why I call this BS?
Hold on a second.
And they're doing it on purpose. No. I gotta call a spade a spade, because they're doing it on purpose. Every character doesn't really look the same as they movie counterpart, right? Chadwick Boseman character in What If looks exactly the same. You will never forget him.
True.
If they recasted his face right then and there,
it is interesting.
It would have started the road onto healing. Let's get to the next character straight up, and they have his face, and you're never gonna forget it.
Even characters that have the right voice actors do not have the right faces, except Chadwick.
Thank you.
even the ones that have the voice actors, the real voice actors, don't have the same faces.
Let me address that a little bit.
They're burying him on purpose.
I think
only Black King? Really?
No, you're gonna have other ones. I just think like they would basically have to start from scratch with building up the Black Panther character in people's minds, and I think you do that in Black Panther 3.
I think they take us for granted mentally.
I agree with you. I agree with you, Everborn. But the King has a point, man.
They killed his.
Why is it? Right? Why is it? Just think about it, because some of the characters,
but they didn't
do have the voice actors
when they knew the actor was gonna die.
No. I'm not saying that. I'm looking at the Black Kings being destroyed. Right? Just look at what I'm just saying. Just look at it really for how it is. Right? All right. So it's not saying that this is a convenient thing, but you're just burying the character, and then we're gonna let his sister Shuri, which she does become the Black Panther later on in the lore, but that's because he ascends to the Death King, the god of death inside his realm. That's something totally different because he has to watch over the dead, and he's protecting his people in that manner, and he holds that crown while she takes over the mantle of the Black Panther. But
he got the Infinity Gauntlet from in the Secret Wars that came out recently when he was the King of the Dead.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, you're killing off this movie.
But we don't know if they're killing them off. We don't know that they're killing them off.
Who Chadwick? They're burying the Black Panther with him.
Hold on a minute. We don't know that.
There will be another Black Panther. They could bring back so many.
There's no more herbs.
No, there's 100%. There will probably 100% be a Black Panther, but will there be another actor playing
They can't write it in there that they had some secret stash somewhere. You think
this is the MC? This is the MC fake death universe.
Yeah, come on, man.
There's always a secret.
Like we had a secret stash. I pray that I'm
underground. But I really, seriously, Everborn, I want us to spend a little bit more time on what King was saying there about the face of the character, because that's very interesting. He blew my mind with that, and he's right.
Well, here's the thing.
Not all of the characters who play the voices in real life are in the show. We know that. Some people got it, some people don't, right? Some voices are real, some are not. Except all the cartoon characters are just a little bit visually different, except T'Challa.
Well, no, I disagree. I don't
think T'Challa looks like Chadwick at all. The only ones I think look like the characters are Doctor Strange and Happy. That's it.
Okay.
True. Doctor Strange also looks like him.
Let me disagree. I think that in this episode, like, I think Bruce looked like Bruce in episode 3. He didn't look like him in this episode, which was a little bit strange. And I think that all of the actors who come back, like Sebastian Stan, looks like him to me.
Nothing like Denai Guerrero.
No, it didn't. And she was doing the voice. I'll give you that. But I think for the most part, the actors that are different, that are not the same characters from the movie, that's where they're changing them. They didn't want nothing to do with Scarlett Johansson's likeness. but but Doctor Strange looked like why can't I think of his name? Yes, Benedict Cumberbatch, right? So but I think when they made this, they were under the assumption that Chadwick was coming back, and they couldn't change the character model now. So I do want to cut them a little bit of slack for that, because Doctor Strange looks the way he's supposed to look, and T'Challa looks the way Chadwick Boseman looks. But this was done when he was alive.
He looks like generic Black person. I don't feel like he looks like Chadwick. They have the same haircut and whatever, but I don't feel the features like as strongly like as you look at Benedict Cumberbatch. That Doctor Strange character, that couldn't be nobody else but Benedict Cumberbatch. Like Happy looks like Jon Favreau.
Well, Jon Favreau is like one of the producers, one of the owners and stuff.
You feel me? It's like I feel like they motion captured their faces or some shit. Like the way it looks.
You didn't think Paul Rudd looked like Paul Rudd?
Paul Rudd,
no.
Ant-Man?
He looked off. He looked completely different to me.
I don't know if I agree with that.
I don't feel like it's spot on. Like how. Like to me, the most one is Benedict Cumberbatch, to where it looks like him.
All right,
out of all of them.
So to me, if I'm judging it, and I want to move on now.
Thanos looks like Thanos.
Because we so at the 9:30 mark, we're gonna go to the Matrix. We're gonna spend a half hour on that, and then we're gonna go to Shang-Chi at 10, and we're gonna do that for a half hour. So I want to wrap this up in the next 5 minutes. Now, for me, episode 2 was my favorite episode so far, right? And that could just be the heartstrings that they pulled on, right? And they called up Pixar and was like, let me get that people cry formula, and they put it in episode 2. So that's the best one for me. Immediately following that is that Doctor Strange episode we got last week, which I thought was amazing. And that fight scene was like, okay, Marvel, you getting some DC vibes here in terms of production quality for your animation. Now, after that, I would go. The next one was episode 3, because I like that mystery they had going on with killing all the Avengers, and I just didn't see that it was Hank Pym doing that.
That was crazy,
right? And I wasn't a fan of the episode 1 because it was just a rehash. I knew everything was going to happen. They just changed it to Peggy instead of. It
was
Steve.
The most lighthearted of all of them, because the way it's been going, it's been leading more to horror and darkness since, especially the last 3 episodes.
True.
They did say it was going to do that though.
So that's the thing for me. But I did like the action scenes that they put Peggy in, so that's why I put it above this one.
I'm still hoping they bring Peggy in real life. She needs to get that real life.
But
so it was way cooler than anything I've ever seen Steve do.
That's right. When she get
I thought he was talking about me.
Oh, like that, it was crazy.
Wrong, like you trash, bro. No, so and because of that, this one, the action wasn't really crazy to me. Now, one thing I do want to point out on this episode,
it was kind of crazy the way they were killing the zombies or killing the Avengers zombies.
But I
was like, oh shit, they're going for it.
I think one of the gems
for Marvel
that they need to utilize more is Paul Bettany's vision, because he just classes up the joint. No, I'm just saying everything he's in, he just classes it up. Like his performance in WandaVision, his performance in even Age of Ultron, like his part of it was great. That end monologue that he gave, what's his name, Ultron, at the end, and in this idea that he just couldn't let, yeah, man, and I don't know, man. I just thought
was like the reverse of the WandaVision thing, where it was a version of him that she was keeping alive in this world, and the fence that it keeps everybody else out of their world. But I did not see like how he was feeding her T'Challa. Like, what the fuck? She ate Ant-Man's whole freaking body.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell? Like, I did not see that twist coming. You know, that's why I can't call it when y'all was like, you said it was the weakest, but clearly the Peggy Carter one was the weakest.
If you really look at it for the unpredictability of the nature of it, that was kind of crazy. That was kind of crazy. But the fact that the Vision pulled out his own gem out of his head,
like, dude, you couldn't have waited. Like, you trying to redeem yourself, you couldn't have waited a little longer till we got to the real fight. You just gonna kill yourself and just leave us here? Yeah, if you trying to redeem yourself and she's still there, you caused this freaking problem, asshole. And just like, I'm gonna just murk myself.
She was super strong, and
like,
she was fighting the Hulk. That was
you're the only one who could stop her.
Did Hulk die?
Right.
Hulk, hell yeah, he died.
Did he?
Did he though? No, because they tried to bite him and they couldn't.
They couldn't bite his skin because of the healing factor. But he does turn into a Marvel zombie later on because he got bit. I forgot who the hell he got bit by, but he got bit by somebody that was able to pierce his skin. Could have been Wolverine for all I know. I got to double check. But yeah, he got bit.
Wasp could get really, really small, go inside of him and do something on him. Molecular
or bite him inside his lung?
Just go inside and infect his molecules.
Yeah, this is true.
All right. So what King, you said you were coming around to something somebody was saying.
Well, no, LeVar made a great point.
Oh, I thought you was agreeing with me. Forget it.
No, because LeVar made the point that the
tradition, baby.
The first episode was the weakest, and in all actuality,
because
this last episode is probably one of the better ones because the unpredictable nature of it. You didn't know where it was going from beginning to end. When the Hall came down, I did not know what was going on from that point, and the fact that nobody was in the Sanctum Sanctorum when he got there, and then he did show up, and he's like, yeah, Tony's there. I mean, it
when
really
it turned around, it was like, oh shit.
Yeah, and then for the battles to go how it went, to then introduce yourself to Spider-Man, to go to the little funny skit part where how to kill zombies and stuff like that, and to see that he webbed up. It was so good. And its unpredictable nature of it, because I did not know where they were going with it. Normally, I can predict certain things. I could not predict this episode even to the last drop. So I do got to say this was a pretty good film.
The only
that's why I didn't like the first episode, because I knew where it was all going.
Yeah,
right. So that's the weakest one.
Yeah, the only thing I could complain about it is that you wanted more, but that's every episode you want more. They're too short. That's it.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else? Because we're moving on. We're 1 minute late.
You got 30. Yeah.
All right. So boom, it's time.
Woo.
It is that time. The mates. You know what? We just gonna go ahead and we're gonna play this trailer because.
Okay, let's do it.
Oh man.
You gotta let Case.
I also have two of the other
set it off with that background. K Asante gotta set it off.
So we just gonna we can't do audio because they might give us a DCMA, but we just
you gotta set up the cameras different or take off the Matrix Resurrections because you blocking King face.
I got you.
Nah, I'm cool. You don't gotta see my face.
Nah, because it bothered me when they did that shit to me when I was on the bottom.
Oh,
there you go.
Okay.
I'm just trying to look out, bro.
So maybe we stop on some key.
All right. So
okay.
So right now, my theory of him being John Wick is still in effect.
Oh yeah,
he's always
the John Wick Matrix universe connect.
Honestly, he's always Neo.
Yeah,
Neo, like that's just something he does on his side time. It's just like I'm gonna go inside the Matrix and be John Wick.
Initially they were supposed to come out on the same day.
Yeah,
wow.
That would have been cool.
Can you imagine? Same day, competing.
Which one
two
would
movies,
you have watched
same
first?
dude.
Who would I would have watched first?
Because they was
buddy.
Come on.
It depends on who's not on HBO Max.
Come on. Well, for me, it's like this series changed movies forever. Like, come on now, this is not to be competed
It's probably one of the most iconic movies that we ever had this generation for us.
This is our Star Wars. I don't care what nobody says.
Yeah,
and it's better than Star Wars. Yes, I said it.
Yes,
sorry.
All right, I'm gonna have to shut your mic off, but God bless.
It's better than Star Wars. I said it.
KOS up on Saturday. See Darth Maul.
I said that.
Okay, so but let's just go through this thing, see what's happening. So right now, Mr. Neo, if that's his name right now,
Thomas
or Thomas Anderson, is talking to a therapist played by Doogie Howser.
Now you notice that
he's always going to be Doogie Howser.
He has the blue. They always trying to reinforce you taking that blue pill.
Mm-hmm.
Hey guys, stop taking the blue pill. Say hell no.
It keeps me going.
That blue versus red. That blue versus red dichotomy is all over this trailer. Pay attention to where you see a lot of the blue versus red. There's a lot of it.
Right. So this is now
a lot
continuing the meme talk.
Doesn't have the green tinge.
Yeah, they've gotten rid of that.
Yeah, for now.
Yeah.
Okay. So now, this is interesting. I don't know what the duck is doing on his head, but like, so what? Okay, let me just tell you what my theory is. Why he's back in the Matrix, right? I think that he was brought back, right? And you don't think he ever died?
No, I'm gonna let you finish your theory, and I'm gonna tell you what it is.
Okay, so
I'll give you his Stephen A. Smith.
Did you read the whole thing already? Yes, he did.
No, I didn't read anything
because it's out there. The entire thing of this movie.
This is one thing that you will never see me do: spoil a movie for myself.
Yeah, it's out there. If you want to know the whole thing, it's out there.
No chance I'm reading that. So now, he is back in the Matrix looking for Trinity.
Okay, you ready?
Right? Go ahead.
He saved the world by taking the blue pill. They was going to destroy the world. He saved the world to save Trinity. She's already there. He already knows where she is. He has her locked up inside a room, so he can actually get back to her. He's trying to figure out how he can crack the Matrix and save her. So this world is encompassed between his thoughts. He's staying blue right now on purpose, but he breaks free of it because he thinks he found a way to actually save her and keep going.
Now, there was a truce that went on at the end of Revolutions, right?
Right.
Where anyone who wanted to leave the Matrix could, and if you want to stay and eat the steak, you can, and they're just not going to force you anymore.
Right.
So, but for that to happen, Neo had to go to the source, right? Yep. Now, it feels like Neo died at the end of that movie.
He didn't.
No, he didn't.
He didn't die.
Because why did they show everything still yellow and glowing and God, like, who's seeing it that way if he was dead?
He had to go back in.
He's the one who sees the thing glowing and gold. So if he was dead, why does it still look like that?
We're seeing it through his eyes. So
but Trinity did die. Right? We can agree on that.
Trinity did die.
Did he?
Yes.
I mean, they could have just reinserted her body or just cloned her body and put her consciousness
Trinity died. 100%. The question is, yes, in the movie. The question is the Trinity you're seeing here, is this a representation of her in the Matrix, or is she actually still exist?
Realistically, when he left her body there, the way they can write things is the machines could have went and got her body and fixed her up because they can do anything.
You're gonna see in this trailer that she's still locked up.
Let me stop something for you.
The same way they manufacture humans, they could have better doctors than.
You think that part in the trailer is really her?
Yep.
Let me say something. Let me say something.
Because they show a part of her when she's attached to the machines. Yep. They show her there still attached.
So the thing is this, right? Humans aren't born; they're grown. Yeah, they 3D print the tissue.
Right.
Yep. Yeah.
Right. So and then they put you in a pod so that they can suck off your.
So they could technically bring the software and the hardware back if they so chose.
So they can bring anybody back, and they have all your memories.
Yeah.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter that she really died in the other one
or not. Yeah, because they can bring back. They can 3D print you again and just put your memories back.
But that being said, I am saying that it's not the machines that brought her back. It is Neo. Right?
I think he never let her die. I think that was part of his deal that he made with the architect.
You bring her back and I won't cause no trouble and I'll stay in the Matrix.
Yes.
So I could be with her.
Because they need him because he's the balance to the dichotomy.
But he didn't fight that. Why didn't that happen 20 years ago? Why is he just meeting her now?
We don't know this. We don't.
That's right.
We don't know if he actually has. We don't know if he actually.
Maybe he keeps just meeting her over and over again in different iterations. Now, fun fact: a lot of people may not know this. If you didn't play the Matrix Online, right, Morpheus actually died in that.
Yeah.
Right. So. So they're saying Yahya Abdul-Mateen's character is the new Morpheus. Is he a young Morpheus or is he a resurrected Morpheus?
Or is he both. Morpheus and Niobe's son? Because
he is
Niobe
both.
Is
but think about it. He is both because the architect said when they were creating the Matrix, they have multiple instances of Matrix where there have been some instances where it was a utopia and nobody accepted it. All the stuff they have now that you see, at least that's what the architect said, is basically been put together to help you accept what it is now, which means Neo and Morpheus can be recreated because both are necessary.
Well, we literally see who this Morpheus like character, created. Right? He's being printed. So the question is that is he?
That is the system. That is the system putting these things in place because without them, they will not. Remember, the utopia brought about the end, right?
Yeah.
They need the Morpheus character, just like they need the Neo character.
Let me explain. The only thing that is
controlling this Morpheus character.
They give him the illusion of free will, like they give everybody the illusion of free will.
They are controlling him by that illusion. That's right.
The only consistent in every timeline is Neo. All right. So in knowing that he's the only consistent, we might find the variable inside the woman, But I think every character can be recast because it doesn't matter because they did it with the Oracle because they just showed you that
it's just your avatar. It's how you choose to look.
So
inside
again,
the Matrix.
I think that's Morpheus, but at the same time, Trinity is the only variable that stays the same. And I think Neo is the constant.
Because Neo chose that.
Right. And he chooses that form for her. So I believe that she's the only variable in that matrix, and that's what he's holding on to and won't let go.
And there's another, just one before you ask that question, there's two quick points. There's something that always stuck with me that the Oracle said to Neo.
Right.
You've already made the decision.
Oh, this is
now
true.
You just have to understand why.
Yes.
Right. And I think that this is kind of what we're talking about with Trinity and him finding out why she is in here and why he doesn't remember anything. Because I think he chose to get rid of his memories and then they're coming back. And he has to understand why he made that decision.
If you look at that trailer, when he touches her hand, he doesn't look shocked when he holds her hand. She looks shocked. He doesn't look shocked.
So in other words, she doesn't know anything. She's the unknowing. He knows it all. He's just trying to deal and figure his way out, but he knows who he is.
He probably meets her every week at the same coffee shop, shakes her hand.
So he's probably the only alive person in all of the Matrix, and he just keeps popping blue pills to stay dormant.
Thank you.
By the way, this shot is pretty cool. There's a mirror.
It's so apt, isn't it? It's so apt, and this is like the real world right here. This is it right here. When I saw this, I was like, "Oh my god, this is the one scene that's going to convince youngins that they're in the Matrix today." This right here.
Well, they believe that they're in anyway.
Than we've ever been.
He's getting rid of the blue pills.
Mm-hmm.
What book is that?
This one. Is this Sati?
Yeah.
That's is this Sati from the train? Yeah.
Is this Sati? Because it's not the same actor. Obviously, this is
at the end of Matrix Revelation or Revolutions. They said we'll see him again. So you know, he wasn't. There was always.
But see, that's what makes me think this is Sati, because they're specifically doing their best to look at this scene. They're really trying to say, if you recognize her, this is her all grown up, even though it's not the same actress.
No, that's. I'll bet money that's Sati.
Yeah, I would too. Although it's not the same actress, I looked it up.
Okay. Did you see this?
Yeah.
What is this about? Now,
I've heard some theories about this.
I've heard that is supposed to be Smith, and he has merged with Smith. That's one of the talking points that I was paying attention to.
The theory I've heard is that he is much older than he
portrays himself to see.
Yeah,
that's
what he sees.
They show
through the mirrors.
Attached to the, in the tube, they show Trinity the same way. There's images of them the same way attached to the tubes and looking,
decrepit and old.
Not old, young, or just the age they are now.
Time to fly.
I don't know how I feel about
Yeah. He's cool, but he's no Larry.
I don't know how I feel about him.
Larry
and I suspect that we'll see.
Bro.
I suspect we'll see him in the context of the film, and
Larry,
it'll work. But right now, I'm just.
Larry wasn't Larry in the King of New York, so he had to grow into his feet.
Well, let's be clear. He was also in Apocalypse Now, and he was also the cowboy in Pee Wee Herman.
Yeah.
Lawrence Fishburne is a goddamn chameleon.
Yes,
and I would argue Lawrence Fishburne is a better actor than Denzel.
Is he?
Yeah, I'll say it. I will fight. I'll fight that fight another day.
But you're right in the sense that he has. I think he has an incredible level of range.
He has more range.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, his range is crazy. Yeah,
Denzel is always Denzel.
Denzel plays one note, and he plays it perfectly.
Denzel has more presence.
He's more of a modern day Sidney Poitier.
Denzel disappears into the role and makes you believe that he believes it, that this is happening. It doesn't come off like he's acting or it's forced. It's just very natural. But other people, like Lawrence Fishburne, is a chameleon.
There's two different ways to look at things, right? Where you make the character you. And so this is what Denzel Washington would do in this moment, and you believe it's real.
Or Denzel disappears.
Right? Or Lawrence Fishburne actually becomes the character, and he's not Lawrence Fishburne anymore. He's Ike Turner now.
That's right.
Boy, you don't even see Ike Turner when you think of Ike Turner no more. You think of Lawrence Fishburne.
You think of Lawrence.
You think of that look.
Exactly.
That look with the perm.
That's right.
Boy.
Yep. That's
so that's the thing about like and just going from that to the Matrix and like one of he doesn't get enough roses. All I'm saying.
Question.
And then look at him on Blackish because he got the comedy chops too.
Of course. Question for the panel. I know that there's been conversations about, he's getting too old, so he couldn't fulfill the role, blah, 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 blah. I honestly think it's political. Are you seriously telling me that there's no way that Lawrence, the OG Lawrence Fishburne, would have found a way in this film?
Well, I have something to report about that.
From what you see in the trailer,
please, I would like to know.
And this guy got his shirt off and abs and stuff like that. How's Lawrence Fishburne?
I'm not saying that.
Thank you.
Hold on a minute. Let me answer both of these questions.
I'm waiting for you.
So here's the thing. Lawrence Fishburne has been on record that they didn't even call him. Hugo Weaving was supposed to be in it, but he had scheduling conflicts, and Lana didn't want to wait. She wanted to shoot it at the time that worked for everybody else. And he was doing a play, which he didn't want to get it. But Larry Fishburne was never called.
Why in the hypothetical does that happen?
And the thing is, now I don't know why that happened, but I will say there's no reason for it. Even if you needed him, right, and you needed Yahya to do the scenes, you can be whoever you want in the Matrix. So in Zion, he could be regular Lawrence Fishburne that we know, and in the Matrix he could be Yahya.
Yes. Right. So for the whole idea
one second. Go
ahead.
So and we know this because the character, I can't remember her name, but she's memed now for not like this
Switch.
and then dying.
Switch
was supposed to be a man in
the Matrix
and a
man in the Matrix and a woman in Zion.
Or I think it's the other way around. A man in Zion and a woman in the Matrix.
And a woman in the Matrix.
But they figured 1999 audiences couldn't handle that.
Yeah.
But that's neither here nor there.
So that kills the argument that, he's too old, he couldn't gotten it done. I think something else is going on with that. It's not because he's too old.
He might still be in it.
No,
he said he wasn't called.
His check might command too much of a high price tag.
That might be it. That's the only thing I see that might actually mean something.
When you're trying to cut something on a budget, you can cut out the biggest factors because you got to pay Neo, you got to pay Trinity, but you don't need to pay Lawrence.
But you do need to pay Lawrence. The whole thing works with the three of them.
That's nice.
Like every movie. Look at the cover of this thing. It was all
Terrence
three of them.
Howard.
Okay,
y'all ready to recast Chadwick, but you don't want to recast Lawrence? Fuck out of here with that bullshit. Keep the same energy.
Listen.
Bro,
I'm gonna say this.
Chadwick died. That's why we're ready to recast the man.
In a year,
Chadwick died.
I'm gonna say this.
It's been 20 years. Recast that nigga. Fuck out of here.
This doesn't take away from your thirst to see the film that he's not in it.
I just think it's unfortunate. Just like if Blade comes out. And I don't see Wesley Snipes in any fashion in that film, it'll be disappointing to me.
Of the three of them,
even if it's a cameo.
They owe him nothing.
Of course.
Well, this is not about that. Hold on a minute. I don't know if you believe this, LeVar, but I am holding out hope that he's lying and he actually is in a post-credit scene, or he just does a walk on.
I know if that movie flops. If that movie flops, he'll be in the next one.
Because I mean, come on, show respect to Morpheus.
No, but here's the thing:
if it's an after credit scene, they could have called him after he did that thing and said they haven't called me.
Nah.
And then boom. It's like Neo, let me
add one more thing.
There you go. And then everybody's like, yes.
Let me add one more thing, King, and to the rest. The part of the reason the Matrix works so well is because of Lawrence Fishburne's presence as Morpheus, and he sold it. He gave it gravitas because it's a wild concept. If it is not done,
he sold it more than Keanu Reeves did.
Absolutely, 100%. So the question becomes: can Yahya sell it like that, or is it big enough to stand on its own?
See, and that's a question that remains to be seen.
When does Candyman come out?
That has no bearings in this. That's no bearings on this conversation because he could be doing a good job. That's fine, but still, if you look at The Matrix 1, more 1 than 2. 1 was obviously that phenomenon that led to 2, right? Lawrence Fishburne literally led that film, right? You didn't even get a chance to really like latch onto Neo until a little later in the film. It was always about what's the Matrix? You must learn for yourself. It was all Lawrence. The whole thing was Lawrence. Oh, he's the most dangerous guy. They set him up and they let him be that guy that introduces
Fishburne
you into the Matrix.
Thing that had me questioning my own reality.
Yeah, he basically brought Neo in. So as the audience,
all of us in.
That's right. He brought us all in. So you cannot have another film and then he's just like not even a thought. Like that's weird. Something happened.
But whatever happened, that whatever politics of what's happened, if it is that, what I am saying is, can the movie come close to what the first 2 films accomplished?
Oh hell no.
Without the gravitas of Lawrence Fishburne,
there is no way.
Is Yahya enough? Because hold on, one second. What I am afraid of is that the film is just an action movie that has twists.
It'll never be just an action movie because of the people who wrote it and are directing it. Yeah. The Wachowskis are incapable of making a normal movie. I've seen all of their movies. They are incapable of it. Even their TV shows have ridiculous complexity. They are incapable of it.
But I would argue that maybe Jupiter Ascending and some other of their projects would have worked had it been cast as well as The Matrix was cast.
Nope.
And
No.
He said that was said it was a brick.
Yeah, that was the Wachowskis going all. That was going full Kojima.
That's exactly. That's when they was at their height, and they said we just go forward all out.
They went full Kojima. Yeah, that was a little too much.
That was full.
By the way, you know this. I think she's like not the new Trinity, but playing that role of the introducer. Mm-hmm. She's the White Rabbit.
She's also in
Iron Fist.
I know. And she was woefully miscast in Iron Fist because she was really misused. She is way more talented than she should have been on Iron Fist.
Iron Fist was misused.
Yeah. Except for Danny Rand, who should not have been cast in that role.
Did you peep that right there?
Yes, sir.
Go back.
You see the Matrix lines?
She's turning,
who is that? That's who?
Trinity.
Why? Why is he that close? Why is he saying my love?
Look at his face. Look at his face like
yes.
Like,
well, but if you listen to the context being
he's not looking at what's going on. He sees the hurt and he's trying to get her back. He's trying to bring her back. If you look at the context,
when you hear this being played and you hear the context, they're explaining it. It's the only reason why you're still in here trying to fight for her while this is being shown.
Nick has a great question. Is this going to be another trilogy or a one-off? I don't know.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you this.
I hope that it is a trilogy.
I'm gonna tell you this. Your man Keanu is not in it for the small bucks. If he ain't signing in for the long term, look at John Wick. If he ain't signing in for the long haul, he trying to get the long bread. Pause.
But here's the thing.
Man is in it.
So my question about that is not even Keanu, more the Wachowskis, because I don't think they're in it for the long.
Lana. The Wachowskis not in it. It's just Lana.
Yeah,
but the thing is, I hope that this spins something off to where you could do something with Yahya and the other person. I wish I can't. It sucks that I can't remember her name. But my point is, the Matrix is bigger than the original trio, right? The universe that they built,
the group,
right?
Oh yeah, potentially.
And I don't want to see them take the Star Wars route where everything got to come back to the Skywalkers.
Yep,
right.
100%.
Let the universe blossom into its own thing, and that's why I'm really rooting for this movie. Even if this movie
is the gods of the whole universe.
It's a universe, but everything leads back to one dude,
right? But everything branches from this part of the root. You can't say that about Neo. Neo is the only constant. She is the variable. Right.
By the way, her name is Jessica Hendrick.
Okay, cool.
He is the literal only.
Well, hold on a minute. Let me. Here's the thing.
Right.
Wow.
Right. Every iteration of the Matrix, there's a new Neo.
It's him.
It's not him.
They showed every picture of every time he showed up at the architect.
No, that wasn't every time he showed up. There were thousands of screens, and they were showing all his possible reactions. There were only 6 previous matrices. Right. I don't know what you call it.
True.
6.
Yeah.
So there were more.
You're right.
So
and
those
thousands of screens were showing the various his potential reactions.
I always interpreted the the dude that he fought on top of the tables. Right. I can't remember his name right now.
The first one,
the Asian guy. Yeah, right. I thought he was a previous one from another Matrix,
like a previous Neo.
Yeah.
Are you talking about the gatekeeper?
Seraph or what is the
gatekeeper?
Yeah.
Nah.
So you don't think he was a previous one?
You know who was the previous one?
The Merovingian.
Yes, sir.
That was.
Yes. They've actually said that he was a previous one. Yeah.
Yes.
So this is what I'm saying. So it is a different one every time. So what does that mean? Is there another one? Because there was a new iteration of the Matrix.
I'm pretty sure. It's funny you say that. I'm pretty sure Jessica's character is possibly a newer version
of Trinity.
Because is this the existing Matrix from the last one? Or is this
this is the new one that they created? The world that Sachi helped create.
Meaning the new one will have a new one, which may not necessarily be this one.
And I think Sati is going to be the new Oracle.
Which could also work. Yeah.
This is going to be fun. This is going to be absolutely fun.
I'm looking forward to it so much.
I'm just waiting for all the books that will be written about it afterwards and all the documentaries.
I'm waiting for the video games.
Oh, listen, they better not mess it up this time, boy. This is the perfect time for the video game. Oh,
I would still be playing the Matrix online right now if it was still a thing.
I have entered the Matrix. The Path of Neo on PC.
Listen, that'd be crazy if they bring it back.
No, they can't. Listen, could you imagine? Like it's still third person and still kung fu,
like how
and guns and things like that. But could you imagine just like kind of like a not a WoW or a Final Fantasy 14 kind of game, but a Destiny.
Like a Destiny?
Yeah. Where you got raids and things that you go on. So it could be like the highway or one building, or there's a new program in here that we all got to fight. Come on.
I'm down for all that.
Indeed.
Come on. That's it, though. That's it. I wouldn't be playing any other game.
I like how he handles him in this fight. So you don't know.
And there's a lot of parallels to that dojo scene in this.
Oh yeah. Except way better because he didn't do that the first time.
Well, yeah, you know.
He's not gonna be in the Matrix 5.
Let me ask you guys a question. What do you guys think of this? Okay. I've heard some criticism from people saying that the first Matrix or any of the Matrixes that have been marketed usually has a killer feature, right? The first one was bullet time, right? No one had ever seen it before. Oh my god! And the second one was it was also bullet time, but it was more the slowing.
It was the flying.
I'm sorry. Oh, the flying. You're right. Matrix 2 was more the flying. Yes, right. And of course they had that fake CG stuff. This one, as good as it is, we have not seen anything so far that is quote unquote next level. And it's hard because we're in a world now where Unreal Engine and movies are like one. So there's nothing you can think of that somebody else can't just make, right? Even amateur YouTubers are like using CG effects that rival the first movie.
But the thing is, they are, believe it or not, using a lot of practical effects in this. And I think that's the thing that's going to get us. Like there's some things that they got from Inception in here when they run down the hallway.
I'm looking forward to seeing it. I just wonder, is that something to look out for, or is that just the time that's passed us by and it's not?
I don't think so. I think that's.
So you expect to see something in here? Exactly. That's my point. I don't think we're going to see anything in here that we go, whoa, we've never seen this in movie making before. That was a time that has passed us by.
I mean, I expect
look at that. Look at that. Okay, we got the
scenes. I expect it to look better than.
Look at that. So the missile went through the door, and now because they were using the portals like the Keymaker. Mm-hmm. It goes through that door, and now it's in the train, and then the train blows up.
Yep. And it could just
that was Trinity.
Maybe
Trinity.
The suits they're putting him in. Yeah, suits, man. Come on, bro. It does not fit you like Lawrence, man. Come on.
All right, we're gonna stop. All right, they got to do with the
But
potholes.
this scene was crazy.
That was lit. They got to do with potholes on his face, just like Lauren. And listen, they got close. They got a black ball headed dude with potholes on his face.
I'm seeing a lot of callbacks from 1 and 2 here.
That's my problem.
That's the point.
But a lot of the scenes, like this scene where they're jumping here,
better.
That's not CG.
It looks better.
They did that. Better. They did that live because and then who is this guy? Because he was talking to Neil Patrick Harris in the first one. I think this is going to be the new Smith.
Smith, yeah. I think this is the replacement of Agent Smith.
If he's the one.
Yeah, he could be. He could be. Yeah, yeah. But definitely, what do you call it? The Agent Smith is not being played by the same character. I forget his name. You just mentioned it a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
Hugo Weaving.
Weaving. Yes, he's not being played. So I can see him being.
But is it Agent Smith in this? Is Agent Smith actually in this?
There is an Agent Smith in this.
There's an
agent.
In
the show. Yeah.
Okay.
There's an Agent.
No,
Smith.
I know there's agents, but is there?
There is an Agent Smith. Specifically, Smith is in it. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. And you're saying you're bringing it back to the Matrix. Okay, so. So
and notice how it's not it's blue with the green twinge. I thought that was very interesting. They completely changed how this thing is. It's not the same. Not what people remember. Very blue.
I feel like we got to pay attention to some of these numbers and things that we're seeing here.
Yeah.
But so it's coming out 12.
I'll leave that to crazier people than me.
Oh no, I'm just waiting for the YouTube videos to pop up. Like I'm going to go down the rabbit hole. So it is 10 o'clock now. It is time for our Shang-Chi review. Now, LeVar, I know you haven't seen this yet, so I will not keep you if you don't want this spoiler talk.
No, you can go ahead. I know enough about it.
All right, so we're getting ready to go a half hour in depth on the movie. So it's time. Now, King, we saw this at the private screening, which Kay was not. I don't want to say he wasn't invited.
He was not privy to.
Exactly, because he's in another state.
I'm in another state.
So
should have flew in.
You should have. It was worth it. It was worth it.
Yeah, it was worth it.
So,
was it?
But they didn't have nachos. I was mad. They didn't have nachos.
They had no
nachos.
Nothing.
Oh,
no
they didn't have nachos, no pretzel bites, no chicken strips.
I had mac and cheese bites. Ooh wee.
I had those too. It wasn't that good. It wasn't that good.
Listen, it was better than I don't eat meat, so that's the only thing on my menu right there. So
okay, so we got the private screening. That's the only way to fly, right?
Yes,
going
sir.
forward.
Yes, sir.
And so we got to sit down and we got to watch Shang-Chi. I do want to start with the after credit scene. Just because that's fresh on my
mid credit or the
mid credit. The mid credit. Okay. So there's one thing that stood out to me the most, and that was Banner was there, but he was there as Banner and not Smart Hulk, and for some reason his arm was still effed up.
Yeah, that's strange.
Why was his arm still messed up, and why is he no longer Smart Hulk? Now, I agree with you. Get rid of Smart Hulk, even though I didn't hate Smart Hulk. I just hate how the Russos disrespected him. But why is he Banner again?
And why is it that
aside from the money on the CG?
Yes, that's what I was about to say.
Why is he Banner again? Why is he Banner again? And why are they continuing the tradition of having all his great things that are happening to him happen off screen, and you just see him? Oh, by the way, he's intelligent Hulk. Oh, by the way, he has now resolved whatever issue he had.
Yeah,
and now
that's the movie they would have made if he wasn't
Universal.
Universal.
Yeah,
but again, story wise, why is he Banner again, and why is his arm?
We don't know.
Well,
don't know.
All right, so he's probably doing research on trying to get back. But all right, so when this is the thing that they did in comic books, and they could have told this story. They could have told the separation of the Hulk from Banner. That's what they did before they got Intelligent Hulk, because after they merged them, that's when you got Doc Green. Because they separated him, he went on a rampage and he was going crazy and he was tearing stuff up. But they noticed they had to have the humane side in him, and because he was an extension of Banner. Anyway. This part right here is where you're going to get a full Hulk back. You're going to get a full recharged Hulk because he's going to irradiate himself again in order to heal. Because he got back. Because if he would have reverted back to Banner before, he would have died. right?
But the Hulk would never let that happen.
Yeah, the Hulk didn't let that happen, so he let Banner control at that period of time until he was able to revert back to Banner, and the Hulk can go back and generate and heal. And then when he actually turns back, because remember, it's a metamorphosis that he goes through, and he has a great healing factor. So in that great healing factor, his arm will heal the next time you do see the Hulk in the MCU or the DC universe. I believe when you get a chance to see him in She-Hulk, I don't know how much money the budget is going to be. He's going to give her his blood, and then she's going to turn into She-Hulk. But again, the fact that Banner was there as Banner raised questions for me, but they needed him there as Banner to show that he actually got the Hulk under control.
Yeah, that he's actually still
right. He's actually able to transform back and forth. You won't see intelligent Hulk. You will actually see mindless Hulk, something a little bit more stronger and a little bit different the next time you see him.
Hold on a minute. Great Hulk.
Oh, you talking about Mr. Fix-It?
Yeah, Joe Fix-It. Joe Fix-It. Yeah.
Oh,
hold on. Hold on a minute. I actually think my favorite iteration of the Hulk, and this is only recent, is the newest one in Immortal Hulk.
Yes, of course.
See, in Immortal Hulk, he's not stupid. He is just. They really played heavy on the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, but Mr. Hyde is smart. And he just operates like when the sun goes down, he's like the nighttime is his time.
Yeah, well, that's how it was in the beginning in the comic books. Jack Kirby and them had him come in that same way. If you remember, when it turned nighttime, you would hear the tick, tick, ticking of the clock. Tick, 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 tick. As the sun goes down, the Hulk comes out. So, but they walked away from that and got it. When he was upset, he would trigger the reaction. But it used to be triggered at sundown. And he would lock himself up inside a big room in order not to let the Hulk out into the world.
And that was the other thing. Like in the opening issue of Immortal Hulk,
right?
Banner he's in a convenience store robbery and he gets shot in the head, and the Hulk doesn't save him.
He can't.
It's not until nighttime comes out that the Hulk will come back, and then Banner will get healed that way. But it's still the nighttime is his time. But that Hulk is all about scaring you, right? He was about like
film.
Right. And he does his own detective work, that Hulk. So that's the Hulk I want to see, whereas he's not mindless, but
smart Hulk. Smart Hulk.
Well, I don't think you get that type of that Hulk in the DC Disney universe for one reason. He can be dismembered.
Okay.
You understand? The level of carnage that's inside that book is kind of crazy because he gets shot full of holes, he gets dismembered, but he can bring himself back because he's the Immortal Hulk again. I don't think they're going to explore that aspect of the character because of the visceral violence that it will actually have to show to the audience. I don't think that we will get that iteration. I think we will get Mr. Fix-It, like LeVar said, way before we get this iteration of the Hulk, because this iteration of the Hulk, to show that he's immortal, you have to kill him in various manners in order to show that immortal status that he has, that he can bring himself together. You can separate his body into different jars, but he could still form.
But the MCU still plays fast and loose, as mixes things here and there. So is there a way maybe they don't have to go so like horror dark, but they can also say, hey, the switch is at the nighttime. That's how we switch up our time. And this one is smart, but he is also strong.
Then let it be Mr. Fix-It. Because that's the same thing that he did to Banner.
But Mr. Fix-It is not, Grey Hulk is not strong like Green Hulk.
Whoa. What makes Grey Hulk so strong is the fact that he's intelligent and calculating. Right, so he fought the thing was at a Hulk level. Remember, the thing was extra mutated. He knew that he couldn't beat the thing on a one-on-one battle, so he took him in the water where it made him slower, and then he started giving him the Heimlich maneuver while he was underwater to kill him. So he uses his intelligence and his calculate. He's cunning like a wolf. It's a different Hulk.
I'm saying Immortal Hulk, at least as far as I think, because they haven't been together, but I think Immortal Hulk is stronger than Grey Hulk.
All right. So in that same storyline, the person that saves the immortal Hulk, because remember, he is split into multiple personalities, is Mr. Fix-It. Joe Fix-It.
Wait, which book is that in? Because I got the first 3.
Oh, brother, that spans 50 books.
No, I got
but
I'm saying I got the first 3 like graphic novels of it.
Oh, okay. So you get to issue like issue 50. Issue, I think from 37 on, Joe Fix-It is involved. That's when the UFOs come up and stuff like that. And Joe Fix-It is the one who actually saved him. Now he does it in the persona of David Banner. Joe Fix-It actually takes control of David Banner, and he has a mustache, but he's remember, he's a schizophrenic, multiple personality. He has this displacement disorder. He has these issues that he's dealing with. So he can be Joe Fix-It inside the body of Banner, and also inside the body of the Hulk. He doesn't have that set, but yeah,
that's the 30th anniversary joint, right?
Yeah. See, I'm loving him every day. Every time I see him, I love him more.
All right. So we went on that whole thing.
You took me there.
About Shang-Chi.
You took me there.
Okay. All right. So now we can get back to the movie itself. So I am calling this top tier MCU. I think it is the second best origin story. I think it has the best. Not the best fight scene in the MCU, but the best hand-to-hand fight scene, meaning it is beating out Winter Soldier.
Yes.
And Civil War.
Yes.
Right? And it is the number 2. If you're from Jamaica, you understand that. But it is the second best origin story in the MCU.
Second only to which one, in your opinion?
Iron Man.
Second only to Iron Man 1?
In terms of origin stories, yeah.
Okay.
We're not saying second best film. We're saying second best origin story.
My best origin story is Black Panther, and it's the second best to the Black Panther to me.
Okay, so here's the thing. The problem with that, and we talked about this a little bit in the thing we did afterwards, is I feel like Black Panther's origin was in Civil War and not in his own movie. So I don't count Black Panther as an origin story. I just count it as a Black Panther movie. Civil War is the Black Panther origin.
I disagree with that. There's not enough of him in Civil War.
What's that?
There's not enough of him in Civil War.
Saying that Shang-Chi is like, just rehashing Black Panther.
That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life.
No,
said that dumb shit.
Yeah. No. It's when you see the film. I mean, I understand how people can get it, and they can say, "Oh, look, now they're gonna give the Asian market their Black Panther." It's actually not. It's really done so damn well.
Yo, LeVar, let me tell you something. You didn't see this thing, but there are echoes of The Last Dragon.
Yes.
There are echoes of the Never-Ending Story with Atreyu riding the dragon. There's echoes of Godzilla, King of Monsters. There's echoes of Rumble in the Bronx.
Z, Kakarot.
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm. All of that is in there.
A lot of Jackie Chan in here. A lot of Jackie Chan
with the tournament.
So much Jackie Chan.
So Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon with the wire fu. Yep. All of that is in there. I don't know how they got all of this in one movie. It is crazy.
One thing, have you heard that some Chinese audiences don't like it?
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna stop you right there.
Because Americans made it.
Yeah.
That's the only reason.
Political.
I mean, but the thing is,
if it was shot in China, they would love it.
Well, no, see, I wouldn't go. See, to be fair, okay. Go ahead.
Let me just answer that question. Right. I think this may suffer from the same fate as Mulan. Right.
Yes, that's where
typically Chinese audiences, they sort of favor the home team. And this was, like LeVar said, made by Americans, and it's American view.
That's not where
Hold on a minute. One second. It's an American view of Chinese culture, and I'm sure you could speak to Black Panther being an American's view of African culture.
That's where I was going.
So
genuinely, I'm not talking about the political people. I'm talking about the genuine people who look at it and go, "Good effort," but to us, it's Chinese food, not real what we really eat.
Right. So
that's where I'm going with it.
So this is why I think the movie is going to do well in other places, but in China, we're going to have to see.
Yeah, that's what I think.
But the difference is
the political parts. I hear you 100%. The political parts is real. I'm not discounting it. I'm just more speaking to those audiences who you would think would be like, "Yo, we finally get ours." And I'm hearing a lot of "good try," rather than "Yo, we finally get ours."
They're not out in China already.
No, but it's gonna get a release date before Black Widow, believe it or not, because Black Widow, I don't think got a release date there yet. So, and
cool how in the beginning of the movie they use subtitles and they actually speaking in Chinese, or Mandarin, or
they didn't do that. They didn't do that for Black Panther.
But
they were
Black
using
Panther,
a made-up language.
They hide that and they go, well, it's made up language, so we can hire a lady who really should not be teaching us how to do any of that. But that's neither here nor there.
Okay, but now one thing I want to focus on, King and Kay, Tony Leung, Wenwu, the villain of the story.
Oh, what a great villain!
Oh my God,
what a great villain!
Fantastic!
I wouldn't even call him a villain. He was
the star of the movie.
Father, man. He was a conflicted father. That's all he was.
Isn't he the Mandarin?
Yeah.
No, he's not the Mandarin. Mandarin is just orange. It's just an orange food.
Oh, that was a great joke. So he was like, I've been called many things, and they tried to use me because the Americans needed to be someone. They needed someone to be afraid of. They needed a villain,
just like
right. And he was like, and we just laughed because now the entire country is afraid of a fruit.
A fruit, No, it wasn't a fruit. It was like because it's the dish. The orange chicken. He's like, they're afraid of orange chicken. Like,
right. So, but
I thought that clarification, what they did, because they all right. So this is Marvel doing fan service because the atrocities.
Yeah, that's them threading the needle,
right? Yep. I think this was really a blunt hammer.
You think?
Right, because I really think it was a blunt hammer because they hammered it all the way home.
Oh yeah.
If you didn't understand what we really messed up. We messed up when we did this to this character that was so beloved by a lot of people. They thought he was a joke and a footnote.
Look, we're fixing him. Man. Can you see we're fixing him? We even brought up the joke, and we're going to show you we're fixing him.
Use him as the joke. He was a fool throughout the rest of the film, and we're going to show you that he was a fool, and we're also going to show you how powerful the real Mandarin was, and what he thought about what we bastardized and did to him in his name. And and making sure that you understood, we got it, we sorry, and it'll never
we heard you.
Happen again with your beloved character.
And then the people who love Taskmaster go, when is it our turn?
Exactly. That right there, that's kind of crazy, but I think Marvel doing something else.
Now let me ask you a question. Was the Protector, the mighty Protector, the dragon, was that Fin Fang Foom?
No.
Okay. Tell me why.
Fin Fang Foom is a villain.
Okay.
All right. Oh. And I thought the thing behind the wall was going to be Fin Fang Foom.
But
I didn't know that it would be like an elder god from the darkness. And he's actually a very old ancient god that destroyed the universe, and he was locked behind this universe. From the books. I did not know that they was going to go so deep, so far. And this character has nothing to do with Shang-Chi. Has nothing to do with Shang-Chi at all, but they tied the knot, and they've been doing this together by bringing characters that's so far in the distance and bringing it to newer characters and relevant characters now to show you that they have a vast catalog of villains, and you have no idea which way they're going to go with this, because I did not know who the villain was going to be, because the villain wound up not to be the Mandarin.
Yeah,
he was not the villain. He was a sympathetic
for most
character.
of the movie. He was, but at the end of it, he wasn't.
Okay, I want to talk about that for a second, right? So here's the thing, and maybe this is just me being an almost 40-year-old sad dad, right?
Right.
But
I'm a 41-year-old sad dad. It's fine.
I completely empathized with him. When he said, you just sat there. I know you was a kid, but you just sat there and let them kill your mother, and you didn't do nothing.
Let me go deep into
this. And so Pause. But and so now he trained him the way he trained him to make him strong, because he was like, your weakness is why your mother is dead. So now I'm going to train you, and I'm gonna make you get back the people that did it. So good.
Instead of reflecting on the fact that you weren't home to protect the
You
family
weren't home
from
to
your
protect
sins.
kids. That's
your
right.
sins is what brought this back to our house.
That's
now,
right.
this is the part where in the beginning, like you said, after the mother died.
One point. Another part that I don't know if this was bad writing or whatever, but you can't just get out of the gangster business and not have no security guards or nothing like that. What is he doing? How does he just leaving your house open like that? But you not a god no more. You wasn't home.
They were there though. His weapons were there. He the mentality of a god. Remember, he destroyed nations. He did all this stuff. He's immortal. He never
thought anybody would even think about coming to catch him like that.
See, because he lived by the philosophies of fear. He didn't live by the philosophies of love. And then he tried to live by the philosophy of love. So he was enraptured with this, and he changed. He had denounced all the stuff that he did, but the violence that you did commit definitely sought its way back home. But what he did was he projected his insecurities onto that kid. And the kid said, after the mother died, he doesn't remember her anymore because he beat her out of him. Remember, she trained him to move in a certain manner, to feel in a certain manner. He had to reflect back on his hate of his pop.
Her style is more flow, his style is more blunt. Yeah.
But he needed both styles in order to conquer his father's style.
His dad. That's
you know what I really like that they didn't punk out on?
What?
Where he was like, I told you I didn't kill that guy, but I did.
Oh yeah. I love that.
I respected them so much for doing that, because in a normal Disney movie they would be like, no, I had to change your heart and I was the good guy.
Yeah, they tried that.
Can I ask you guys?
That's what they would have did in Black Widow.
Yeah.
But anyway,
so let me ask you something about that character, about the main protagonist, the main actor here, Simu Liu. Do you guys think that he was charismatic? I'm me personally.
I thought he was too fat.
I loved the film. He was good. He did a great job, but it almost seemed like he didn't fit that role well enough.
He
was a little too meager than
you're saying he didn't have the star power that say.
Yeah, I think he was missing
Evans
a little.
Or Chris Hemsworth.
No, I'm not saying specifically Chris Pratt.
Did he have a Chadwick Boseman vibe of?
There are many Asian actors who have that presence. I don't think this man
Tony
had
Leon.
that presence.
I think
like Tony Leon, yes.
Or like the person that is Bruce Lee. Like, okay, so we're going back to the 70s where he was made from this character.
Yes.
All right. Yeah. So he was not as charismatic as Bruce Lee. No, he didn't have these moments of flash that he commanded the screen in the sense of a Bruce Lee, which they should have found a Bruce Lee. They should have found a Bruce Sly. They should have found a character that fit that mold. They got in
I have a feeling they wanted to find a character, but they didn't want to pay him. And the ones that are good are known. And they want to find somebody new who's not known.
You could have found an unknown Bruce Lee lookalike. This is one guy that is he a kickboxer or something like that? But he's a Bruce Lee lookalike.
It's not just about
the look. It's also the look and the presence and the acting.
The commanding screen presence.
He does it. The dude, okay, but he's not okay. Now I know what he is. He's not Asian. That guy is Afghanian, but he looks Asian. You know what I'm talking about.
That would have been a no-go.
Definitely. Yeah. But at the same time, I understand certain aspects of it. I'm not upset with the casting of the character, right?
By the way, Awkwafina, and I know we talked about her the other week. Awkwafina was great in this.
She wasn't a joke. She wasn't a joke.
Always playing the same character though.
No, man. I think she made it work. I think she
changed.
I think she tied it together. And
so you think she went out of her comfort zone in this?
Not really, but she went above.
It's the same note.
A station.
I just think that I feel like they found a perfect vehicle for that same character she plays and got emotion out of her.
Have you watched The Farewell yet?
I have not seen The Farewell.
Okay,
no,
but like I said, before you give before you give Aquafina
I've seen
smoke,
a lot of
I've
seen a lot of Aquafina stuff. If this is the only one that makes her different, okay.
I'm just telling you to watch it. Watch the farewell.
What they did with her is they allowed the dude that played the Mandarin to be the joke, and they removed that burden from her to be funny.
Sure.
So removing that burden from her to be funny, she was actually just acting. And from her acting aspect of it, she showed concern. She showed different range that I seen. Now she did she Denzel it? No, she didn't.
No.
But she actually hit higher than I thought she would.
Let me be clear here, though. Let me be clear. I'm not saying that she's a terrible actress. I'm just saying that the note that she hits, just like we said, Denzel is brilliant at what he does. Yeah. I feel like she always hits the same kind of notes. Well enough to warrant getting her in the film.
I think that she took some of the pressure off of Simu Liu. In that when she was in the room, it's almost like you were paying attention to her in the non-fight scenes.
And that's the reason why I bring up Simu Liu specifically, because I feel like he needed her in certain scenes. And you could tell, like, it seemed like when she was with him, then it brought up the whole level of the scene. Him by himself couldn't carry it sometimes, I thought.
He held his own in the fight scenes and
non-action scenes. Fight scenes, the whole different bag. Non-action scenes when they're just chilling, when they're a bunch of friends just chatting. Like, you know, they had that buddy a few moments.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know, man. Like in those moments, I feel like where's the star of the show? He loses something for me. And I need him to command the scene.
He doesn't command the screen, like I said.
So
but
now
his fight scenes was deep, though.
There are people.
Don't get me wrong. I can tell that Simu Liu was specifically hired because he's boss at the fight scenes, 100%.
Guess what?
He really knows how to play the Jackie Chan role perfectly.
Guess what, though, LeVar, you're on mute. LeVar.
I said they could have hired Danny Chan to play him.
Yeah.
Shang-Chi.
Yeah. I don't know who that is.
You don't know Danny Chan? Yeah.
Oh, the guy that played Bruce Lee.
Yes.
That would have worked so well.
What about the guy in?
And they better go back to his old suit.
The Warriors.
Yeah, the Warriors.
Exactly. You see what I'm saying? That's what I was thinking. There are many. Oh, and he's also boss fighter, 100%. There are many Asian actors who are really at a high clip when it comes to they have the charisma and they have the fight. But gentleman,
does Disney background check? Do you pass the background check?
Are you on code?
I'm gonna tell you right now. Does your credit score hit? Does your background check flip? Is it working right? Because they can do all that stuff. You could be whatever. They don't touch you. They had to put a retainer on Robert Downey Jr. He made what, $25,000, and he had security on him. So this is letting you know the level of security that Marvel has on these characters.
Cross every T's and dot every I.
Part of the reason with Robert Downey Jr. because at that time he was just getting out. Yeah,
we knew they're not making that mistake anymore. You look at the people that they're getting. They're getting clean cut, cookie cutter individuals. No signs of mess. Look at Hawkeye right now. You understand? His show was supposed to come out. His stuff was supposed to come out. You having these troubles, bro. We not really backing you like this. So he must have been, out of all those people that we're talking about, because I'm pretty sure they scoured the earth, he probably been the one. His credit score came back. His background check came back good, and
I'm sure somebody in Disney went, we could do better, but he's clean. Let's go.
Check his Twitter line to see if he was acting up.
hey, I'm sure in hindsight they kind of went, maybe we should rethink our position, because after Chapek opened his mouth, he was quick with the backlash. I was like, maybe he shouldn't, and I think he knew his movie was good, so he could get away with one line real quick.
Okay, so like I said, in it's not about Black Panther, but in Black Panther, we getting ready to wrap up now. But in Black Panther, people said that all the characters are so interesting. But none of the characters ever really outshined T'Challa, right? They were
in this one. Many characters outshined.
They stepped up. Everybody stepped up their game to meet Chadwick in that. In this, it felt like the other
Many
characters
outshined him. Yes,
right.
His sister outshined him 100%. His sister outshined his mother, outshined him. His aunt, his aunt outshines everyone. Any movie this woman's in, she's
want to see her.
Yes.
And none of them was over there talking smack about the boss, but
about the boss man.
only the weakest one was doing that. But that's neither here nor there.
Michelle Yeoh can do no wrong, so that's different.
So
but the rest of them outshined him.
I wouldn't put it in the top 5, but it does make the top 10 MCU films for me.
I agree.
And I got to see it again, but I'm back and forth between like an 8 and a 9.
My thing is the audio. My thing is the
score.
The musical score of the film. The dynamic panning shots, full shots. Like it's very hard to do, and it takes repetition to get it right, to get that one take hold in. And I think they pulled it off. The CGI was spot on. So visually, graphically, movie direction, it was spot on. I don't think the musical score was something that was memorable, and I do have to go back and watch it again.
Everybody was kung fu fighting.
Yeah, but if they would have, they have Kung Fu Hustle in the background, so you saw motivation for certain things that they were using in it, and they had the visual cues. They had everything right. I just think the musical score needed a little touching here and there.
Yeah, it was unimpressive.
Right.
They needed Ludwig Göransson, the dude who did Black Panther.
Ludwig Göransson speaks that trauma so well. That's a different style, man.
Yes. It's stuff like that is he didn't have. When Chadwick walked in, you heard that beat. Like,
by the way, side note, you can turn on the Avengers game just for that. You hear the Black Panther's music. The theme, epic.
You didn't hear.
Yeah, there's no real theme that captures
identified
you
him.
for Shang-Chi.
Like, let me tell you something. When Captain America showed up in that train station,
his
music starts playing.
You got chills.
Yep. They each have an iconic sound. Music. Shang-Chi does not yet.
I'm sorry. It's just you have to marriage the visuals with the audio to get that response. And I just didn't get that part.
Well, I'm telling you right now, though, when he shows up in somebody else's movie or the next Avengers, that movie is going to be a movie. If you catch my drift.
Well, true.
It's going to be.
But like
I want him to fight
what King is saying.
Well, that's what I want to see in part 2.
I want to see him fight Iron Fist. I want to see them to fight Moon Knight. I want to see the best 3 fighters in the world. Did you say, excuse me?
They got to recast Iron Fist.
No. I believe the only person they're keeping is the Punisher dude and the dude that played Luke Cage, right? Right or wrong?
No. They're also keeping Daredevil. They're keeping Daredevil. They're keeping Daredevil, 100%.
Okay.
I don't know if they're keeping Daredevil.
What, they changed their mind now? Because he was the first to get the green light.
But he's in Spider-Man from what I hear.
Yeah.
He is
Spider-Man's lawyer. Yes, he's Spider-Man's lawyer.
But we don't
100%.
know if he's Daredevil. He's Matt Murdock.
That's what I'm saying.
And it's a different universe.
Bro, I will take the bet. If he is in Spider-Man, and I think he's in Spider-Man, he will be Murdock. He will be.
I think if he comes to the MCU, he's not going to be Daredevil. And I think so
they're gonna cast him and not make him Daredevil.
I think he's Matt Murdock, but I don't think he's Daredevil.
Okay, so no, that's fine. He could be Matt Murdock. Yeah, he could be Matt Murdock that hasn't turned into Daredevil.
Yeah, I think
which is fine.
I think that's a scenario where he became.
But he's still Matt Murdock, which means Daredevil is somewhere within his destiny. Whether he's been Daredevil before and changed his mind, or he will be eventually because of reasons. But if he's Murdock, then he will be at some point. Daredevil could have became.
He could have.
Let me stop. Let me shit on all of y'all dreams right now.
Okay.
The Spider-Man contract is such that any character that originates in that movie, that version of the character belongs to Sony.
Oh,
and
definitely
Daredevil is not coming up for that movie for the first time. So he would have to appear somewhere else. before he comes, because Marvel is not giving them that version.
If that is the case, if what you're saying is true, which I have no reason to think it's not true, that means Murdoch could be in the movie, but he'll never turn into Daredevil. He'll turn into Daredevil afterwards, but he'll at least introduce him
Murdoch, but
as
he
Matt.
won't be no Daredevil.
Yeah. Which means they probably have Matt Murdock as the lawyer, fine, and then through reasons he becomes Daredevil in another movie.
I think they will have the actor there, but he will not be Matt Murdock or Daredevil.
See, that would be really messed up because that would fall into the whole WandaVision thing where they turned it into that ridiculous thing. They should have learned that lesson.
That decision was already made. It's already
That'd be such backlash if they did that again. That'd be terrible.
We jumped in the rabbit hole, and
his name is Matt Boner.
Indeed, yes.
Like I said, I'm not denying that the actor may show up, even though we don't have any hard evidence for that. But I promise you, Matt Murdock, Daredevil, will not show up for the first time in a Sony movie.
I believe,
which is what that is. So you can forget about that. All right.
Okay.
All right. Final thoughts, because I know it's already late for me, and LeVar got to go to work.
I got to get up to go to work in a minute.
All right. So King, final thoughts for you, and then we'll get everybody out of here.
Top two origin films. I definitely Black Panther, and then I go with this.
Okay.
Give me a score.
Marvel MCU in general.
Yeah. Score what? 5-star
out of 10. Out of 10.
Give it an 8.
Give it an 8. Cool. All right. Mr. K. Asante, same question. How do you rate it as an origin film in the MCU? Where do you rank it in the overall MCU? And what is your score for the movie?
I would say it's a origin story. It's probably a 2 or a 3. Because I like a few of the other origin stories a little bit better. Overall movie in the MCU, I think it's top 10. I still think either Winter Soldier or Civil War might just edge it out for me. As far as no, not for fighting. Okay. As far as a full, complete picture. As far as fighting is concerned, this is the best hand-to-hand fighting combat MCU movie ever. It is the best. But as a whole film, I would think maybe, and that's why I was saying to you in the DMs, I cannot say it's top 5. It's top 10, and I have to watch it again, and I have to watch other things in order to really solidify myself. I've only seen it once.
But it's definitely better than Thor: The Dark World, Iron Man 2, come on, and Captain Marvel is what you're saying.
Come on, sure, and I like Captain Marvel, and I'll say this is better than that. I like Captain Marvel. I suspect I'm a minority in that I like Captain Marvel. I thought it was for what they did. It was good.
Captain Marvel, I gave no, but that's for politics. Why a lot of people hate it.
Yeah,
I thought it
was a decent film.
I thought it was just all right. I
thought it was good, but then again, it had Sam Jackson in it, and we've already established that I'm a Sam Jackson stan. So
I actually could have gone if they I would have liked it a lot better if they kept the whole movie in space. That was when it kind of fell off a cliff when they came to Earth.
Okay. But no, so I think in general,
a little girl who knows nothing about alien technology just all of a sudden know how to fix her suit and all the smirking and shit. Terrible.
That happened on Earth. That's my problem. Yeah. Earth is the problem.
In general, I say Shang-Chi I'd give it 8 out of 10 as well, 7 to 5, 8 out of 10. Yeah. There are some parts that I'm like, well, why'd you do this? Why didn't you do that? But by and large, it's just nitpicks. It was a decent film, and I'm looking forward to seeing it again.
So for me, it's the bottom side of the top 10, meaning it's maybe
9, 10.
Yeah,
8.
8, somewhere between 8, 9, and 10. But it does make the top 10. I give it an 8.5. That's why I live with it today. I think it is the theaters are going to erupt when he shows up and kicks some ass in another Avengers movie or something else.
I will say
it is
one
going
quick
to be
thing.
Crazy when he shows up.
One quick thing to what King David was saying, which is absolutely true. That has happened on numerous occasions where an MCU star shows up in a different MCU movie, and it's like, oh my god, what happens there? Usually they lead with their theme music. And you just lose your mind before they come. And he does not have that hit.
Let's see who's going to direct that. All right, so I do want to move along. The other thing is I can't remember now.
The death of Michael K.
Yes.
Yeah.
Boy.
Omar from The Wire.
Mm-hmm.
Chalky White from Boardwalk Empire.
It's with profound sadness that I even had to tweet that out. With profound sadness, because when I found the character, I was automatically in love with the character. I thought the character that he played as Omar was a phenomenal character, and then to see him in Boardwalk Empire as Chalky White, he gave his heart and soul to his roles. To see him in Battlefield, the video game, again, which will probably be one of the last Battlefields with him in it, because of the situation. It just blew my mind. A character that the Lovecraft Country, his list goes on, and he changed a lot of perspectives of where you're from, what you look like, and who you can become. I thought he brought dignity to his roles. He brought range to his roles, and he showed that he just was more than Omar, and he endeared himself to us. So it really broke my heart to find that out about this, and to understand that everybody struggles with something, no matter how bright it looks. Everybody's struggling with some form of addiction, some form of problem, and it's just sad that his addiction stole a bright star from us.
I will say this, as a person who has experimented with drugs, with all these people dying, it's like you don't know what they put in stuff nowadays. Like fentanyl is killing people, and the thing that kills people is mixing it with alcohol. And people who do blow drink alcohol, and that's what's killing them. They immediately go into cardiac arrest from the smallest amount of it. Stay away from that shit. It's not worth your life. Anybody?
It was heroin.
I mean, I heard it was heroin mixed with fentanyl.
No, it was heroin that he passed from.
I think the point is your body is a temple, and keep all of it. Stay away from all of that. But I
allegedly,
don't think that too. I don't really know where we can go after that, so I kind of want to end the show on that note, maybe on a small moment of silence. I think you all know where to find us.
Said it best. Yep.
He still had a lot to do. He would have played a great DMX if they ever done a DMX movie.
You should watch his a portrayal of him when he did a little bit of thing on the BET Awards.
Yeah, I saw it
on the internet. Yeah.
Where did you get this trailer from? Send me this trailer in the link, please.
Yeah, I'll send this to you.
And one thing before we actually go, there's also another speech that I forget the name of the gentleman who was talking about him. It was an interview that were asking about him, and he literally basically said that the reason Michael K. Williams is brought about because of the way he looks, because of the scar, all of that, brought about letting black voices be heard that normally would not have been heard, because they could never find a character that looked like somebody like he would in the streets, right? To be able to speak to to speak to the things that are going on there, because everyone looks kind of fakey, right? There was a time where they had that fake gangster, if you will, that kept pushing him. That's right. And because of that, they then started pushing him to those roles and having him speak to them, because he could really speak to it in an authentic way. Hence The Wire, hence Boardwalk Empire. He never played that cookie cutter perfect role because there was no need for that. He exuded the realness.
Look.
That's right. His interesting look led him to actually, like, I think he was handpicked by Tupac to be in Bullet. That's right. Because of his look. He's
so like, he looks thug enough to be my little brother.
That's right. So to me, with him being able to be on screen and was able to exude those characters, it gave voice to a lot more of the black experience than we would have ever seen, because they never had a person that could embody it the way he could. So I think that's something that should be remembered.
Yes, rest in peace. But on that note, I want to get everybody out of here. So, Mr. King, David, tell them where they can find you, good sir.
You can find me tomorrow on DCX. That's the Legion of Doom show at 9 p.m. on YouTube. You can find me Sunday at 11 a.m. Iron Lords podcast is at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now that football season is in effect, There's nothing that I am happy with. I don't know what King David you will get that day, but you will get me nonetheless. Pause. Saturday, you get the chance to see the KOS. I did the KOS with Darth Maul, my Darth Maul bus. You get a chance to see what the Red Room looks like. I give you a peek inside, behind the curtain, actually literally behind the curtain, to see what's inside the Red Room. You're going to get a little glimpse of what goes on inside the Boom Boom Room at night, see what it is. And hope you guys enjoy it. Dudes, I had such a great time with you guys. I look forward to this really so much. I especially look forward to talking to LeVar after seeing his wonderful collection. Just wanted to let you know that hell yeah, keep up the good work. It looked fantastic. I think you got a ton of retweets and likes and comments. You had no idea what was going on in the back room. I know your ears was ringing. Okay, Asante,
yeah, we were shouting you out the whole time. You never heard a single one of them.
Not one word.
Listen, I want him to get an action figure show going, man. I gotta connect you guys.
100%.
You gotta do it.
Yes.
Asante, man, it's always great spending time with you. 100%, sir. I love your professionalism. I love everything about everything that you do. So it's fantastic actually being on the show talking with you. Everborn, what can I say? All right. Finally got a chance to break bread with the man in person. I think that's big. I think all creators should get a chance to meet each other, chop it up, see each other, talk to each other, and actually share the same air with each other to understand that we're all in the struggle together. So it was a fantastic thing that we was able to put together. I had to capture that and immortalize it on time of film. So later on down the line, we can look back at it and said, this night sparked something creative out of the two of us to span something else. And I want it to be more than just a one-off, sir. So I do appreciate it. And I owed you that respect to be here tonight on the show so we could talk about that great event and definitely talk about other things. So thank you again for having me on.
That's what's up.
I thought I was going to see you. I was so happy to see you, but you wasn't there. But
that worked out.
Yeah.
Like I said, man, King, we might be cousins and not even know about it. My grandfather used to get around. That's all I'm saying.
Listen, I just say this: that Johnson family, we all from the same plantation.
So that is what that is. Mr. Johnson, tell them where they can find you, sir.
LeVar F. Johnson on all platforms.
Even though he's never on social media.
But I mean, you can find me at the Dude Abides as well. I have like a bunch of pages. But you know,
where they get them wonderful toys on Instagram.
Yeah, where they get them wonderful toys, all of that. Maybe one day I'll have a graphic up of all the places you can find.
No, maybe one day you're gonna set that channel up and have your show and build your audience, sir. But we will talk about that offline, I suppose. I'm just shaming you in public to get you to do it. Shame is the best motivator. All right,
boy.
Mr. K. Asante, sir, where can the people find you?
So yeah. I too will second that. I appreciate you guys doing that. I thought that was real cool that you guys did that. Before the movie, after the movie, y'all should do that again. I thought it was real cool. I wanted people to see more of that.
Might do it for the Eternals.
I second that. Let me be clear. I was actually thinking of coming to New York. It just didn't work out, COVID and all that. I was actually thinking of coming to New York for NYC Comic-Con, but unfortunately, it is what it is. The whole breaking bread thing will happen soon, if not later. We're gonna make it happen. But yes, I always appreciate you guys and what you do. When the Lord's Day happens, I'll be there. I'm always in the chat. That's what I'm about. I really appreciate what you guys do there. And I think you know that. LeVar, he's absolutely right, bro. You should definitely 100% start a show, because what he showed you, if that's even a small part of your whole collection, bro, you're doing a disservice to yourself and the potential audience that you could be getting.
I wish I saw the show.
For real, like you should check the Twitters.
It's
like
a beautiful
people were
tweet.
shouting you, like it was great.
Yeah.
I saw your gremlins. I'm like, he has gremlins.
Man,
amazing. Anyway, so all right, well, y'all can find me TKO Asante anywhere, everywhere, Twitter, all the various consoles and whatnot. Saturday we will be doing the Gaming Circle podcast. We're thinking of doing some interesting stuff. Everborn, I think we're still thinking about doing the potential comparisons and whatnot. We can
King, on Saturday we are gonna watch maybe this Saturday, but we're gonna watch the Microsoft E3 show, and then we're gonna watch the Sony show from today, and we're gonna compare them.
We'll do a little bit of one of these things.
Contrast.
Well, I can tell you straight off the rip, the Sony show got a 5. and the Microsoft show got a 9.
Hey.
I look at it with my wallet. 5 was for the 5 games. That
if that's how you're looking at it, then every Xbox show is 10.
You're not happy to throw a faceless corporation your money that you
your
worked
money
hard
for no reason to show respect? Come on,
5 because I'm buying only 5 games, and it might get down to 4.
So all right. Anyway, so this Saturday, if y'all have a chance to come check us out, we'll be doing the gaming circle 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time Saturday.
Sleep.
Yeah, you know, we tend to do it early, but don't worry, King. If you ever choose to want to join us, anytime a guest wants to join us, we will change our time to accommodate.
Well,
the guest.
the thing about that is I work nights, so right now,
of course,
I'm supposed to be asleep.
Of course, yes, indeed. So
we got to get him out of here. We got to get.
So we're getting out of here. We're getting out of here. See y'all next week, Mr. Everborn Saga. Tell the people where they can find you. Go ahead.
Oh, why? Thank you. No, it's very easy to find me, Everborn Saga, everywhere. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Xbox, PlayStation, Steam, but most important, obviously YouTube, right? If you're watching this, but everbornsaga.com, where we are getting ready to, in 4 days, release Prince of Arcadia Chapter 4, so you can check that out. That will be available for set.
You mean this right here?
You gotta fix your screen.
Yeah, the screen's all botted.
You messing up the advertisement, man.
Go ahead.
You got the first copy of that, but that will be available to the general public starting September 13th.
Still doing it.
Still doing it.
Come on, man. Come on.
Guys,
Come on.
Go ahead.
You're getting focused.
Stay focused. All right, but that will be out. So check out everbornsaga.com for that. And yeah, man, every copy comes signed, directly shipped out by me, and I put a little bit of my fragrance in there. So
that sounds upset.
I knew that thing smelled funny when I got it.
But yeah, everbornsaga.com. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody who stuck with us for the review. And the Matrix is going to be crazy. We out of here.